Welcome, 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 panel. Don't forget, guys, please and support, follow all the people that you see on the screen. We are a unit and we got lots and lots of juicy content coming. You guys are going to fall out your damn chairs. Your mouths will be agape, and not to catch a dick, but they will be agape because
Speak for
we got.
yourself.
Oh, then again, I forgot who I'm talking to here. We have a lot of stuff
Wow.
coming. We got a lot of stuff coming that's going to shock the shit out of y'all. Okay. So stay tuned. The only way you won't miss any of it is you have to follow all of us because you don't know who's going to drop the tea. Okay. It could be me, could be David, could be Lily, could be Nosin, could be Haran. I don't know. You got to follow us to find out. If you want to support this show, by all means, and you want to do it discreetly, On the Block with Jen Cash App, scrolling on the bottom. A lot of people don't like other people seeing where their money goes. That's between you and me. Unless you want to say, Jen, let them know that I am a sponsor, then I'll shout you out. If you don't give a damn who sees where your money goes, please super chat us so we can pull your comment up and dissect it. What's up, Ray Pearson? I see you. My nephew's in the chat. George Cook, what's up? You coming up tonight? You probably will because we're going to get into race tonight amongst a lot of other things. All right, guys, chat, hold me down. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way in the door. Let's jump right into this, okay? A lot of juicy topics. First of all, Lily, you joined the mayor in New York City for Pride at the parade. How was that? Do tell us.
Oh, MG, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I had dinner with the mayor on I think Thursday. He has this like yearly event for Pride. So it's like right before Pride weekend. And then I was invited to be in the parade. So it was really, really fun. It was extremely hot. I was asleep before the sun went down, and I slept literally 12 hours in the same position. So my neck is still not happy with me, but it was completely worth it. I would do it again.
Nice,
Hmm.
nice. All up in the mayor's grill. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, people do not understand the moves that On the Block with Jen is making. They don't understand, but they will.
Oh
They
yeah.
will.
Oh
Yesterday's
yeah.
price is not today's price.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's get to this. Thank you so much, everyone who's tuning in. If you're here for the first time, hit subscribe. You're gonna like it here. Oh, you're gonna hate us sometimes, but you're gonna like it's gonna hurt so fucking good. All right, guys. So let's jump into this. I know No Saint has something from his desk, so let's get that out the way while I make sure that I put us on subscribers only because a lot of people like coming up here to chirp and they're not even subscribers. So yeah, you got to subscribe to talk your shit. No Saint, what do you
Yeah.
got from your desk?
So this was a little bit from the heart. I did Uber for 4 years here in New Orleans, and I did late night Uber here. And when you're doing it and making money and you're meeting great people, you don't really think about things that could happen to you. And there's several stories I've read recently that is really sad. So this one is there was this lady from Kentucky, Phoebe Copas. She's 48 from Kentucky. She was in El Paso, Texas, and so El Paso's right on the border. For people that don't know, it's right on the border of Mexico. And he was driving this man. Let me give him his name, his respect. Let's see, his name was Daniel Piedra. He was 52, wife and child. She pulled out a gun and shot him because he was driving and she saw a sign that said Juarez, Mexico, and thought she was being kidnapped. Now, this man spoke English. He was Latino. He spoke English, so it wasn't a language barrier. And what's really disturbing is, did she call the police right away? No. She took a photo of the man and sent it to her boyfriend. So yeah, she's arrested. She's charged with murder. He died. Maybe they took him off life support a week later. It's just really crazy, what people think, what people are thinking, and how fear has graphed so many people in this country that they just don't think logically. It's disturbing.
I use Lyft because I still feel residue from that alleged rape culture from that other brand. But anyway, if I deviate from my course, Lyft sends me a text. Are you okay? I see
Right.
you're not, I see they took a left turn. You all right? I can't believe Uber doesn't do the same thing. Also, look at the fucking map. It gives you the map of your route to wherever you're going. Like, why couldn't she just look at that and say, okay, this is logically.
And being that you're in Texas, you're going to see signs pointing towards Mexico.
Yeah, it's not like you're in Rhode Island. If you were in Rhode Island, I would be worried, but Texas, no.
Yeah. Again, it's I've heard there's a lot of people driving Uber, so of course these stories always make the news. But we had one here in New Orleans. A lady picked up a young guy. They got to the hotel, and he stabs her in the neck. Walks to the hotel, goes to the hotel room, and then starts to leave. And someone behind the car saw it and called the police, and they got him. And basically, he just said someone was going to die that day, and that was the person that picked him up.
Wow.
Okay, so just to be clear, seems like there's an update. Chucking and Jiving TV says she's suing the state and police department now. I don't have confirmation on that.
No, that's our other.
That's a
story.
Chicago.
That's a Chicago story.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what? She's suing. Okay, so No Saint, basically, she thought she was being kidnapped and decided put some lead in his head and then took a picture and sent it to the boyfriend and said, what? Do you know the details of that text?
Just basically that she thought she was being kidnapped. She was hysterical. She was hysterical, thought she was being kidnapped, but she didn't call the police first. She sent a picture of the guy to her boyfriend. So the details on that, I don't know what she was thinking, but she was definitely sticking to the thing that she thought she was being kidnapped.
Okay, so according to her, she just thought she was being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Just a regular old lady? Is this a thug from the hood, or just a regular old unassuming working woman, or what?
You know, she was 48, kind of regular looking. I say Kentucky, you might think white. She looked black. I believe she was a black woman. But you know what? We were so dumb. So before he died, you know, they send out their condolences, and their penalty was she was blocked off the app. I mean,
to David's point, right? Lyft does a way better job at vetting. And that's the reason why I take Lyft. I have a friend who wanted to do both, but because of little stuff, she wasn't able to do Lyft. And I was like, oh, well, if they're big on those little things, then that's who I want to take.
Yeah, I did both, and I tried, but here Uber was it was busier on Uber. But what I found is New Yorkers and Californians did Lyft. If you're coming from New York or California or Chicago, it was Lyft.
Yeah, Lyft is big in Chicago.
No, you good, Chucking and Jiving. I got confused. He said, my fault. I thought y'all were talking Chicago. No, not yet. That's the meat and taters for later. So, No Saint, I agree with you that it's just there's a lot of paranoia out here. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that defense starts making it into these criminal court cases because everybody is stressed. I know if I was an attorney, I'd argue that as well, the environment, and I'd paint a really nice picture for the jury. Say again?
Like the cops?
Absolutely, like the cops. Absolutely like the cops. You're right on the mark. Okay, well, condolences to that man. The case is going to be interesting. So No Saint, stay on that, and please bring us developments.
Okay.
Based on my experience, I can say that people who constantly operate from a space of fear, those are the people who should never have weapons.
Right.
Because they're just liable to just, without thinking, attack without thinking, you know.
But how do you even gauge that? I mean, is that just a personal opinion? Like, if you're scared, get a dog. Like, how do you gauge that? Like, when you go buy a gun, should there be a test? Like, hey, are you usually scared of things?
No, I mean, you know, as you say, it's a hard thing to gauge. Hence why cops use that as a defense. You know what I mean? Because what's scary to you isn't necessarily scary to me. But what I'm saying is that people who I often see, like, it's more of a street smart kind of thing. You can see a person when they're just not comfortable with violent situations. They panic. They're erratic. You know what I mean? And those are people that turn a situation that's this into this. You know, And now I'm just basing it on my own observations. But it's very hard to gauge that in a particular court of law.
Okay. And David, I didn't even know that Lyft does all of that. Like that's how I travel most often. I didn't even know they text you and say, "Hey, are you okay?" I never got that text. I don't know. Lyft ain't for
Oh.
me.
They do, and they also partner with Brinks or ADT, like a security call center. So
I didn't know
they'll
that.
give you a direct link to. I mean, why you wouldn't just call the police? But I mean, it is, I guess, cool and nice that they're giving that option that you can.
I
you
didn't
can
know.
alert a security
I didn't know they did all of that. I would again. I don't know the details of the case, and I don't like condemning before all the evidence is out. But I do understand her reaching out to her boyfriend first. Like I wouldn't hold that against her.
But was the picture post
The
shooting?
picture's kind of bothersome.
The picture is after the driver was shot.
Yes.
So she
Yeah. Again, as I wouldn't hold that against her. I still wouldn't if I was in court. We have to understand that again. We are learn. I'll explain. Fix your face, Haran. You have to understand that we're living in a time now, and I told you we're going through this in real time. The effects of social media are still unknown, right? We just know little things. It causes depression if you compare yourself to someone else who has more than you. That's surface. In 30 to 40 to 50 years, okay, when freaking science is up on this, we're going to realize how much of a huge effect this really, really has on us as humans. And this is how we communicate now. We don't even speak with our voices anymore. We send pictures for every little thing. Okay, I know me and my friends are constantly like, hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. It's just how we communicate now with pictures. I may sound crazy, but that would be part of my defense in court. This is how we communicate now. We don't even speak. We're like, hey, hey, check out this muffin and this new muffin at Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, look, hey, you like these shoes, the red ones or the blue ones? This is how we communicate. And if her lifeline is her boyfriend, I understand her taking the picture and be like, babe, look what the fuck just happened. Like, I just popped this dude. What do I do? Right? That's why I would have to see the text messages. Like if she was like, I killed this nigga, on the text, then that's different, right? But we don't have that evidence yet. If the text is like, oh my God, look what just happened, that I'm telling you, I shot this guy, then that's different. But again, we don't have all the evidence, right? And that's why you have to go to trial. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah, we'll talk
I
about
think
that behind the scenes.
Well,
I guess tonight would be a good night for me to share about how I was kidnapped by an Uber driver one day. Nothing like nefarious, like or anything like that. It was,
Okay.
but it was still like taken like against my will. After telling them to let me out the car,
Damn.
and I'm not saying like taken, and like when I say let me out the car, like. Oh, it was crazy. I'm not going to go into the story because it's a long story, but it was crazy. And the way Uber handled it was kind of like that as well. It was very just surface. I had to really fight them to get more than what they were trying. Because I'm like, this bitch took me like, 20 minutes away from where she picked me up and I told her to let me out at. So it was a crazy situation. It was crazy the more I'm thinking about it. So anyway, I'll tell the story another day.
And I just want to say, as an Uber driver, the thing that kind of disturbs me about it is, and this is why, yes, we have to see what all the evidence and what comes out, but she's behind him. So you've always got somebody behind you, and she has a gun. Someone's behind me with a gun and they tell me to pull over. I'm going to pull over. It doesn't seem like that, as far as I know. Maybe she did, but it doesn't seem like she asked to be let out or anything. And
yeah, well, we don't know. We have no idea.
You're right.
We have no idea.
A lot of holes in this story.
Yeah.
A lot of holes in this story.
Hopefully,
holes in a lot of stories, David.
In this house.
Hopefully he has hopefully there was a camera in the car. A lot of them have cameras in cars.
I was going to ask you, thing if those rods are videoed.
They didn't mention anything in the article about a video.
I would video my rods.
But yeah, I mean, most people do.
But that's why I say you have to be. This is the worst time. If you have anger issues, go to anger management. This is the worst time to think that you're going to do something or react to something, and you're not going to get fucked up. right? This is the worst time to do it. This isn't the environment. People are paranoid. There's pranksters. I mean, there
I
was
was
a
just about to say
prankster that got shot, another prankster that got choked up. Like, this is not the time to be fucking with people. You just don't know what you're going through, what they're going through. And also, I always advise all the men that I love and know, leave that road rage shit at home. I don't care if they cut you off. I don't care if they're veering. I don't care. Let them fucking go. You don't know if they just coming from a fucking divorce, catching their wife cheating. You don't know if there's a death in the family. You don't know what someone else is going through in that other metal box. Okay? Let them go. If they crash into you, then it's different. You both have to get out the car and discuss. But if it's a thing where it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Let them go. I stress that.
this is why I stopped driving. That is the number one reason why I stopped driving. That's the one place in life I can't hold my temper. I can't. And I said, someone's gonna kill my ass. So let me bow out gracefully and go ahead and push the button for lift, because it wasn't pretty. I couldn't do it.
And it's funny too, because out of all the places I'm crazy, I'm most calm when I'm driving. Like when people are like, learn how to drive, I'll be like, thank you. I will. No, I don't. Because I just don't. I'm like, I'm not going to get, we're on the fucking road. I got to get to where I'm going. I'm sure you do too. It's whatever. As long as you didn't crash into me or run me in the wall, like, shit happens. It's no different. This is how you got to look at it. This is how I look at it. It's no different. And I'm from New York, so it's no different than walking in New York Times Square and people bump into you. Are you going to turn around, roll your sleeves up and get into fisticuffs? Or are you going to be like, my bad, excuse me, and watch where you go and keep pushing? It's the same thing, except you're in a car. So why risk your life, right? It's dumb.
I wish it was that easy for me. It's not.
Yeah. It's not easy for me. I don't like how handcuffs feel, especially if they're not fuzzy.
Well, actually, Walter, if someone was to get into a self-driving Lyft or Uber, a hacker could actually just get into the navigational system and wreak all kinds of havoc.
Okay, so moving on. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Jocelyn Hernandez, she's some reality show hood rat who's gotten a lot of play over the past few years, thanks to Mona Scott Young, the producer of all the Love and Hip Hops, New York, Miami, LA, whatever, got into a physical altercation with Amber Rose. Amber Rose, most famously, is Kanye West's ex, and she went on to be the baby mama of 2 rappers, I believe. Amber Rose is also the inventor of the slut walk. Okay, so that's who Amber Rose is. Big, busty, bald-headed, a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman.
Can't take that away from her.
Beautiful woman. Stunning. So they are on a reality show doing the rounds, as a lot of these reality show actors do. They was most recently on a reality show Cast Together. Jocelyn Hernandez, who claims to be Puerto Rican. No one who's Puerto Rican believes that. Do what you will with that information.
Really?
Yeah, we don't claim her. No one talks about it. Every time she says, I'm the Puerto Rican princess, everybody's like,
well, you know, Puerto Rican people now.
You know, so that's why the fight happened, because now Jocelyn Hernandez is black. She decided to be black. And I have an apology. Let me apologize to the black people out there. That's what I should have captioned this with. I want to apologize to black people. Y'all listening? Everybody gather around, put down your Hennessy and your blunts. Come on in and listen to mama. I have to apologize to black people because I used to hear them say a lot, or I hear them say a lot. I'm sorry, there's like a whistle. Do you hear that? It's like a constant whistle. So mute your mic until you got to speak. It's annoying the fuck out of me. Thank you. All right, it's gone now. So, I'm sorry, black people. Every time I heard them say that people conveniently want to be black, I was always like, who the fuck would conveniently want to be black, specifically Latin people? A lot of Latin people are very adamant about, I'm not black. God free me no black, right? Because it's about ethnicity and where you're raised and where you're from. If you're Dominican, you're like, no, I'm Dominican. They have every right to identify like that. They don't have to identify as black to make you feel comfy about your blackness, right? I still stand on that, right? And also, a lot of black people act like they hold the patent to blackness and they can delegate who's black and who isn't on what day and when and what percentage, right? No one owns the patent on blackness. It's a very, very varied a myriad of things, right? It usually consists of African ancestry, and from there down, we trickle to slavery and race mixing. And so Black is very complicated. But a lot of Black people want to make it one thing and a monolith, though on the other hand, they're saying they're not a monolith. And I know this doesn't sound like an apology, so let me get back to the apology. I am sorry, Black people, that I said, who the fuck would want to claim Blackness, right? Conveniently. But I can say when I'm wrong. Jocelyn Hernandez, who first claimed to be Puerto Rican, and none of us believe that shit, is now claiming to be Black. So you're absolutely right. People do conveniently, right, shift gears into Blackness when it's convenient. I was actually shocked that Jocelyn is now claiming to be Black. I will say I have to agree with a lot of other podcasters who say that she treats Black women very badly. She's always going after and fighting Black women. She's called Black women nappy-headed and things like that. Now, I don't, people take offense to nappy-headed, and I'm just like, I'm nappy-headed. So I'm like, and it's gonna sound weird, but I'm proud of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Ice Cube says in real nigga roll call, when he's like, I'm a nappy nigga, you wouldn't, it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's what the fuck we are. And however, some people take great offense to it, but I don't take offense to a lot of shit people are offended by, right? Wet my hair, we got, Haran's beard. I said that before. But she has said that in a very negative way, right? To Black women. So I find it strange that now she's claiming to be Black. Anyway, fast forward to her and Amber Rose. And did I get the apology out, guys?
I don't think you got to it yet.
Okay. Well, so I apologize for not taking people seriously, Black people specifically, when they said that, a certain amount of people want to be Black conveniently, and not believing it or thinking or diminishing it or acting like, who the fuck want to be Black conveniently? That, my bad, guys. I apologize. I'm sorry. You were right. Some people do choose to be Black conveniently. And I guess why I used to have the pushback is because people pick and choose when they want to make me Black. I've never claimed Black. Some people have said, oh, she claims Black when she's, I've never claimed Black. I will never be Black. I am not Black. I am chock full of African ancestry, and I'm very proud of it, but I am not Black culturally or ethnicity wise, right? So I found it funny that people would say that to me. I'm like, what show have you watched? Nowhere on this planet. Now I let people say what they want. Like, did I see, well, you Black too? Okay, whatever you say. I'm not gonna die on this hill. No matter what I say, you're gonna think what you think, and that's fine. But I will say this, that Black people also make Black people Black conveniently as well. Okay? You do that as well. Okay? So we can't leave that out. Did I get the apology?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I did it twice, actually.
I love, by the
Oh,
way,
thank
this
Thank
comment, by the way, from Absolute 72 about Amber Rose. I don't consider her Black. Her father's white. So I was looking up that, and Amber is probably has as much like Black ancestry as I do, because her father's Irish and Italian. Her mother is Scottish and Cape Verdean. Cape Verdeans are generally, Afro-Portuguese, right?
Mm-hmm. They consider themselves Creole.
Yeah. So there's that.
Right. So
what's her name? Jocelyn?
So I find it interesting that during this argument that turned physical, Jocelyn is trying to check Amber for not wanting to be Black, but Amber Rose is not Black. And I gotta say, if Amber Rose was claiming to be Black, Black people would say, no, you're not. Right? So she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I say that figuratively because Amber Rose never claimed to be Black. Actually, she talks about the colorism in Cape Verde and all that shit, right? She talks about it. She says that people in her family think they're better than Black people. So she's acknowledged that before. I'd never seen her as a flip-flopper, but Jocelyn, the hood rat that she is, okay? I guess needed a storyline, and it was pushing Amber Rose saying, but you don't want to be Black. But you just don't want to be lit. If you don't want to be lit, just say that. And Amber Rose had it and ran up on her, and hopefully two-pieced her real nice. Unfortunately, BT Plus will not air the fight. I'm like, all these fights that are being aired, that's the one we needed to see. Like, I really wanted to see Jocelyn Hernandez get pounded out. Just one good time on TV, right? And Amber Rose is not a tiny woman, so that would have been nice. There was a still picture where it looked like Amber had her in a headlock, and that was good enough for me.
Was that that one where the wig got snatched a week ago? That's that video that was going around?
That's a different one.
That was other scandalous behavior.
Because wigs get snatched all week on reality shows.
One of the most conveniently black people that I've seen and I've ever seen is not by his own accord, by black people's accord, is Barack Obama. He's usually black whenever he is being pressured to do whatever is in their best interest. Whenever he drops a ball, they make sure to mention that he's mixed, or they just don't call him a black man, period. Which kind of brings to mind that his father is black, his mother's white. So if he's not black, that means there's a lot of black men out there who are hell-bent on not creating black people when they lay down with people of other races. But to them, according to them, those kids are black. So it's a very political and very hypocritical, concept, because again, with human beings, we love to cherry pick our shit. We always love to go cherry picking. But anyway, I'll leave it at that.
I love this comment. The Queen says, I think a clear definition of black racially does not exist. I agree with you.
It doesn't.
I love that comment.
But see, that's one of the reasons why I don't like labels, right? Because it's one of the many reasons why I don't like labels, because sometimes you get these murky waters where it's really not clear, and especially around the topic of race and when you're talking about blackness, right? Because Amber Rose has always been consistent, but then when she wants to give just one, concise thing, she says, listen, I'm just racially ambiguous. Instead of having to name all of these, do her 23andMe rundown, she just says, look, I'm racially ambiguous. It is what it is. Got a lot of things going on, right?
Right.
But even before this particular incident, I've heard people come for her for not claiming blackness in the past. Like, oh, she thinks she all that. No, she shared with you who she was, and that doesn't satisfy you. So that's why I say, listen, people going to see you as how they see you, no matter if you jump and scream and stomp. They're going to see you how they see you. You can stand there and ask 10 people, how do you see Amber Rose? How do you see Jen? Right? And they're all going to give you different answers, no matter what Jen or Amber Rose says.
Correct.
Right? So you just cannot please people at the end of the day.
And I'm very simple. I love this saying. I'm not who you say I am. I'm who I answer to. Okay. I'm what I answer to, not who you said I was. I am what I answer to. So you guys can turn green, blue, purple, and yellow. Insisting I'm something doesn't matter. OG Patrice, how are you, lady? She says, Kamala Harris is a prime example of being black when it's convenient for her. But I will say this. Black women are calling her the first black vice president. So there's convenience on both sides here. This is what I'm talking about. Like half of the black people, like, she ain't black, she's Indian. Then the other half is like, yes, go, sis. You the first black vice president. So it depends on who you talk to, which takes me back to the Queen's comment that I love. I think a clear definition of black racially does not exist. That really sums this up.
So that's why I let people identify the way they want to identify. Right. And that's why, listen, when Rachel, whatever, what Doja, what child, whatever.
Rachel Dolezal.
Child, you can go right on here, girl. Just go right on ahead. I ain't got time to sit and argue with you. Now, when it comes time for reparations, bitch, we gonna have another conversation, Rachel. But for right now, girl, go right on ahead. Go right ahead.
Hotels says, is claiming any race at this point outdated, since by now everybody is mixed and not purebred, and purebreds versus inbreds. I mean, that's another good point. I don't think white people are budging about them being white, though.
Absolutely not. There's so many benefits connected to that. So
Well,
Yeah.
and I was just going to
as
say,
long as there's power, people will cling to certain ideas. It's just human nature.
Go ahead, George.
yeah, I was going to say, my take on all of this is, I call it the balkanization of America.
Mhm.
And the region of the country, if you in the mid '90s, there was a war over there with Bosnia, and they split up. And it's kind of like I see this country a very concerted effort to divide everybody by race and pit people against each other. And this is not going to end up good. That's just my comment. So
I
It is.
agree.
It's a distraction from
Mhm.
what's anytime like some, especially I noticed it during the Trump years when some racial shit popped off nationally. That son of a bitch was doing something nasty behind the scenes. Something nasty and covert, subverting some law or whatever it is. While we're all bickering amongst. And
They
that's
do
yeah,
that
they
all the
would
time.
they
start.
just
They would
know it.
also start wars, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which side you're talking about. Both
Yeah.
of them have been guilty of that.
And then
Yeah.
notice when there is a war, I mean, and that's half the reason why this country has become so soft. I certainly don't want one, but like
Mhm.
boomers were the last ones who kind of, they were the post-war babies, right? But I'm losing my train of thought, so I'm going to stop that sentence right now.
Okay, that's fine.
It'll come back.
Chucking and Jiving TV says everyone's black. It's just what percentage are you? Maybe 2%, 10%, or fully. But if you're 1%, that means your lineage started at 100%. Oh, I disagree with that, but it's cool.
Oh,
Well, do you
and I
think the
just
people
remembered, by
who?
the way.
Okay.
Do you remember how united we were after 9/11? I mean, unless, of course, you were like a Sikh who had nothing to do with the Middle East and were beaten, because, you were
remember.
brown. But in terms of sort of black-white politics in the United States and the climate and the temperature and everything, you noticed during that time that we were kind of together.
Mhm.
That wasn't a thing. It was all about America for a moment.
Well, do you think people like the black people who try to initiate people into blackness without their willingness, do you think it's because they want them to be included into the oppression and what we go through? Do you think that's a part of it? It's like, hey, you're in on this too, especially if they benefit from the culture. It's like, oh, you're benefiting from the culture, you're making money off the culture, so yeah, you black too, you look black enough, come on over here with us and deal with what we deal with too. Do you think it's a piece of that as well?
I think it's human nature. Going to what David just said. You know how to keep three people to help them to stop arguing? Give two people a common enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Yeah, I get it.
Right. I think that's a great point, Lily, because I've seen it. When people are on the bad side of whatever it is, say like what happened in Puerto Rico when Trump went and threw the bounty paper towels, the black people rejoiced on social media. See, you're black too. You're one of us. You're black too. Literally rejoiced, right? But when someone who appears to be black, say like if I was a rapper and I was capitalizing off of being black or acting black, whatever that is, then they would tell me she ain't even black, right? And this is why I don't pay attention to people, right? Because they're very convenient or inconvenient about labels. If I'm losing and I look black, then it's a good thing that I'm totally black. But if I'm winning and I look black, but I'm not black, then they're going to make sure they let me know I'm not black. Same thing with Amber Rose and Jocelyn. I think Jocelyn is a clown, right? If I had a gun, I don't care for either women, but if I had a gun pointed in my head, I'm going with Amber. I think Jocelyn she's filth to me. And again, we don't claim her. She's been running around saying she's Puerto Rican for a long time. I think she just wanted to appear legal in the country. She doesn't sound or look Puerto Rican, and yes, there's a sound and a look before you motherfuckers come at me talking about what that sound look like. There is a fucking sound and a look. There is a fucking culture. Even when you're from the sticks of Puerto Rico, there's a certain accent that we have. Please don't tell me what people from Puerto Rico sound like, okay? We know. It's no different than when we see a character in a movie and they're playing a Jamaican. If a real Jamaican tells me that's not our fucking accent, I have no choice but to believe that because they are actually Jamaican. So it's the same thing. Like, we know who's who. And I never believed that. We don't claim her. You'll never see us like, yeah, Jocelyn, go ahead, girl. I've never even seen her wave a fucking flag. I've never believed it. There have been rumors that she's something else, but claimed to be Puerto Rican. So it's like, the jury's out. She's, no. Anyway,
No.
I think the point you're bringing up is the whole thing I'm thinking about when it comes to this situation, and then people saying this person's not black or this person's black. I think it all comes down to when I think people mistakenly think that when someone is saying this person's not black, they're talking about racially. I think it's more of a divide of culture, right? Because even like when we talk about like people in Cuba that are black, people will say they're not black. I just think I think it's a lot more like when you're saying that people saying, the people who are, oh, these people are black, the throwing the paper towels, and then they look at somebody else, oh, well, she's not even black. I want to say that's more cultural. It's more of people are looking for cultural divides, a way to separate. Because the girl that you're talking about, the one that went and smacked, I think, Amber Rose, I believe she claims to be white and black, from what I read.
No.
Well, which one am I talking? Maybe I'm getting the names mixed up. There's one that's parents.
No, the big bald-headed chick. The big bald-headed chick. Like, she's always claimed what she is. Cape Verdean. Her father is what again, David?
Like Irish, Italian.
Yeah,
and
she's
mother
always
is Scottish and Cape Verdean.
Right. So that's the one I'm talking about. The thing I read was she claims that she's both white and black.
Yeah, we said that.
Okay.
Racially ambiguous.
Okay. Yeah. Ambiguous. But it's really interesting because the comment in there saying, well, the one you read earlier saying that she's not black because her father's white. That sounds like some Hebrew Israelite shit to me. But that's kind of funny, like how we separate and we define what somebody's background is. And to be honest, I think they have claims to both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
I mean, we saw it happen with Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
we saw it happen with Tiger Woods. Like he said, I'm Blasian, and everybody lost their minds. You have to be black. And anybody who looks at Tiger Woods, especially the current Tiger Woods, he looks like an old man from Thailand.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like an old man from Thailand. I'm like, the man is mixed, but it's an insult, right? But I really do think it's about how you feel about your blackness, whether or not you care how black someone else is or isn't, or how they identify. Thank you for the super chat. James Oko says, I thought I did good Saturday night, went back to look and I was gone. Guess collateral damage. Oh, that's because you and the Jimmy Fly Snooker character, y'all really made that stream dusty, and the content was great up until that part. So I took you guys off. Thanks for mentioning.
I'm just going to say one thing. Wait 1 second, Lily. I'm just going to say one thing, and I'm just leave it at that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Self-loathing like the ones in the panel, Spro. James, this is going to be the last time I address you in the chat. This is the punk bitch shit I'm talking about. Now
what's going on?
Now you're going to come on here. I'm going to ask you about that particular comment, and you're going to be a pussy. You're going to be a pussy, and you're not going to fucking comment on it. Just be a coward in the peanut gallery, okay? And then when you come up here, you're going to be like, not looking at the camera. And when somebody asks you a question, you're going to be like, well, Jen. Well, Jen. Well, Jen. Be easy. Fall back, bro.
Okay, so for the record, I did drop the link for the fellas, Spro and James Oko. If you guys would like to come up, we will welcome you on the panel. I just dropped the link if you guys want to come up.
So I think Jocelyn, by the way, seems to be trying to pull a card that Amber doesn't even say she holds.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
And Tiger, if I remember from that whole thing, was saying, look, I'm Black and Korean, right? And he was like, don't just say I'm Black because it's disrespectful to my mother.
Right.
I think that was his whole
Yes,
perspective, and he
it
took
was.
mad fire for that. And
Everybody forgets the
And
Caucasian part.
no, it was what was it? It was
Caucasian.
Yeah, Caucasian. And that was pre-social media. Do you remember how viral that was? That was
Yeah.
what was it?
pre-social media.
It was
Caucasian.
a
Caucasian.
big fucking deal. I mean, it was pandemonium. They lost their
Yeah.
minds, like the Joker says. James Oko, thank you for the super chat. James asked, seriously, Jen? How did I make it dusty? Here's the thing. When you come up and you are redundant with your talking points, the conversation just it devolves, right? You and the other guy, you start, the Jimmy Fly Snooker guy, who won't be back up here, by the way, starts attacking people on the panel, loses the point. You go into, why y'all talk about Black people? So that if you're going to come up here, have a talking point, okay, that attacks, rebuts, contradicts what we're saying up here. If you're just going to come up here to talk about, why are you talking about Black people? You're really on the wrong channel. I keep telling you guys that. You're on the wrong fucking channel, and I'm not going to let you get away with it again. That's why you got edited out. Do you want to give me another $5 so I can keep explaining, or nah? If not, moving on. I dropped the link. If you and Spro want to come up here to discuss who's Black and who isn't, we will welcome you open arms. But don't come up here to ask why we're talking about Black people. You can fuck off. Aside from that, you really are welcome up here. You guys are welcome up here. Totally.
So
Totally
New
welcome.
York. I love it.
I'm serious. You're welcome. Everyone is welcome up here until you act the monkey ass fool. Everyone's welcome. We like the contradictions, the rebuts, the questions, the pushback. We fucking love it. But don't come up here to fucking devolve the fucking conversation. Why are you talking about Black people? Go somewhere else then. That's all I'm asking. All right. So I do have another point to make quickly about the Amber Rose and Jocelyn thing before we move on. Snap, how are you? Welcome.
Good. How you doing? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were up here before, right? I think I remember.
I was. I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay, cool. How are you? How are you? Do you have anything to add to the conversation thus far?
So I just got in here actually, and I saw that you guys were talking about the woman in Chicago and her son.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. We didn't get
not
there
yet?
yet,
Okay.
Snap. Yeah, we didn't get there
Okay.
yet. We're still going
Okay,
through
yeah.
some fluff.
Yeah, I just got in here, so
Okay, no worries.
what you guys talking about?
We're talking about a couple different things. We're moving on to the next topic, actually.
Okay.
So I wanted to, the last thing I wanted to say about the Amber Rose and Jocelyn thing is basically, you know, they were saying a lot about how Amber is in these Black spaces. And there was a podcaster, I think Lily, you sent it to me. I don't know if it was Lovely T or...
It was Lovely T.
Okay, it was Lovely T. I do agree with that. She's a great freaking podcaster, by the way. She said that, you know, it's Black people who put Amber Rose on a pedestal because of her look, right? Big titties, big ass, big old ass, pretty face. She's light, right? It's not white people who made Amber Rose popular. It's not even Cape Verdean people. Black people made her quite popular, right? She didn't just shove her way into Black spaces, right? So I feel like it's a double-edged sword where it's like you want to praise women that look a certain way and then you want to cut them down after. So it's like you got to pick a side, right? She wasn't in Black spaces. Black men were attracted to her and Black men decided to date her. Should she have turned them down to make the masses feel better? Right? So here is Spro. Hi, Spro. How are you, darling?
How's it going,
party
guys?
started. The party and in.
welcome,
I heard someone was talking shit.
Now it's a party. James Oko, if you'd like to come up, please, darling, feel free to come up, James. James, we like you up here, but when you start veering into that bullshit, I can't take it. OG Patrice, yes, they did get into a fight, but BET Plus is not going to air it. They just showed a still of the altercation. So when someone said somebody got folded like a pretzel, you're cap because they didn't even show the damn fight.
That's right. Nobody even seen the footage. So,
Wait,
sorry.
that conversation resulted in a fight, like a physical, like.
Yes.
Oh, that is who threw the first punch? I knew it was Amber.
Amber.
Yeah, Philly. Yeah, so I'm for those who don't know,
What
I'm
the
in Philly. I already knew.
Whoa.
I already knew.
Amber Rose got in a fight with somebody?
Yeah,
She's
with
from Philly.
Jocelyn Hernandez.
Word?
Philly hits different, literally.
Oh, everybody stop. James is seriously pissed off. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay,
We
James, what do you want me to do?
Talk about
Listen,
your pissed
He said, that seriously pissed me off. I never said that Saturday night. I didn't say you said that Saturday night. I said that is your reoccurring talking point. That is what I said. I said that's your reoccurring talking point. Right?
Like you said that you like, yo, he
Yeah,
just disagrees with you. We fuck with you.
that's all.
Just disagree with you.
Yeah, we fuck with James. That's okay, so moving on to the next story. You guys are more than welcome to come up. Whoever the fuck, come up. Jesus. Okay, so Ice Cube warns us of gatekeepers. I don't know if you've seen that lately, but Ice Cube is doing his podcast rounds talking about the gatekeepers, and we know who they are. He's basically talking about the industry and how he's wanted to do a certain thing sometimes, or he's wanted to do certain projects, but the gatekeepers are stopping him. Frankly, I'm going to pass the mic quickly on this. I am sick of these millionaires and billionaires complaining about the gatekeepers, and we know who they are. I don't understand why they're sharing that information with us. What are we supposed to do with it? What the fuck are they doing about it? And also, if you're going to expose people, untuck your nuts and say who the gatekeepers are. Don't look into the camera and say, you know who those gatekeepers are, because we don't fucking know. And if we did, it doesn't matter. We're all out here raising our children and paying fucking bills. I don't know what Ice Cube wants us to do. I don't know if he wants us to help him. I do not know. But I am beyond, and this is for Black and Latin people, okay? Because Latin people do it too. It is high time, 2023, you all are fucking millionaires, get together and make your shit pop. Tyler Perry did it. He gave you the blueprint. We don't give a fuck about gatekeepers holding you back. You are a millionaire, sir, and you have decades in this business. So for you to come up and still fucking talk about the gatekeepers are stopping me, it is bullshit. And by the way, I'm a fan of Ice Cube, but that's bullshit. I'm passing the mic on that. The gatekeepers.
That's just fair. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Hold on. Fighter Complex, we need light on you, papi. We need light on you.
More light? Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
Just light, period.
Yes. Because there's a black box on the screen right now.
Darkness.
Wait, hold on. Are you discriminating me on my color right now?
I am. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Although we don't discriminate against black box. I will say
black
that.
box. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe if I look like Amber.
Black box is the best. No.
Whisper the
I
word.
look like Amber Rose.
No,
Maybe if I look like Amber Rose.
Just a quick note on the Ice Cube situation. You know, Ice Cube. Look, you know, Ice Cube having money and in regards to a number of black people having money, it just doesn't mean a damn thing. It's about what's going on in here. If you still think that you need someone here, regardless of how many resources you have, you could literally have the keys to the kingdom itself. If you are conditioned and still believe that you need them, then you'll constantly look over your shoulder for them for help. You'll constantly look for their approval. Look, listen, I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry. I've said this 1,000 times. He's a fucking hack. But look, listen, this guy actually put up, I guess with some help, he put up $3 billion for BET Plus. You know what I mean? This guy puts his money where his mouth is. This guy he spends money.
Wait, that hasn't been confirmed though. Like he hasn't released a statement or anything.
No, he didn't buy it yet. He didn't buy it yet.
It's not confirmed. Okay.
What I'm saying is that he put his money up and there's this back and forth going on.
He's bidding for it.
But what I'm saying here is that he actually put his money in to actually bid for it. You know what I mean? This guy's always putting his money up. This guy's always putting his foot forward. So what I think about his art really doesn't mean a goddamn thing because he actually puts his money up. These other guys that I actually do like their art, they're always begging every fucking 5 minutes. They're always asking someone for something every 5 minutes. And if somebody and if you know what I mean, Mr. Charlie don't give them the green light, you know what I mean, they just abandon their own ideas. And at what point do we sit here and say, are we constantly even do we understand that we have the gateway to our freedom? Do we understand that we have the resources now to create our freedom? Or what is freedom actually to us? Is that an immediate acceptance from them? Is that the freedom that we're looking for? Is that the thing that we're vying for? It's not about economics, or it's not about resources. It's about acceptance.
Mm.
And that's where I am with a lot of this.
So I have a question. I have a question. So this is the thing. I'm confused about with Ice Cube and his gripe, because I think I know what his gripe is about, but if it's about that, he's misdirected it, right? So basically, I don't know if you all remember during the 2020 elections, and he came up with this plan to save the black people.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
The contract.
All right. The contract, right? And so he didn't get enough support from the black community, right? And so he feels that since that particular trying to save the black people mission, that he's been blackballed in the industry. So I'm like, well, shouldn't you be mad at us instead of the gatekeepers? Because I don't know if they had anything to do with it. You just didn't get support from the community, if that, so that's where I'm confused at.
That's one way to look
It's
at
because
it.
it's easy to shift the blame and blame someone else. And like people in Hollywood, and I've been very critical of Hollywood. If you look at my own channel, I bitch about Disney on a regular basis. And like they live in literally an echo chamber. So like he's around his peers, and like it's gonna be different, like because like, Ice Cube's a black entertainer. So like there's probably different culture things between black entertainers and regular entertainers, but they're all Hollywood. What they don't understand is the technology is different nowadays. There are kids with DSLRs and good microphones that are making fantastic art, and people watch it. People will consume. Get this, as far as YouTube is concerned, as long as your sound is good, people will watch you and they will consume if the product is good. They're not making good products. I hate to say it, Ice Cube, he struck gold with Friday. It was when it came out, if anyone who remembers when that came out, it was very unique. There really was nothing like that, and that's beautiful. He is a good actor. He's all right. He passes.
He's all right. Everything is said like this.
Overall, his stuff is not good. Are we there? That show is awful. That show is awful. And the
How did it make
majority
it to
of
be
the
in a
things that
show?
because people do eat. We like junk food to a degree,
Yeah,
but it's
true,
not
true.
good. And what a lot of black entertainers don't realize is maybe your stuff just isn't good. Now, Tyler Perry is different because Tyler Perry, I think we can agree, he takes bad. It's not even because he's black. He takes bad to a whole nother level. He is he's an artless hack. However, he is a decent man who does put his money where his mouth is. And if no one will give him an opening, he will. I remember hearing one time Tyler Perry was flexing about how he wrote like 7 different like complete series of shows, and he was saying it like it was a flex, and it was like, dude,
In
that's
2
why your
weeks.
shows are bad. Yeah, that's why your shows are bad, because other shows have like 13 writers and you're only doing all of it and not letting anyone look at it, so your shows are bad. However, he pays for all of his stuff. He clearly does the wig and wardrobe and makeup himself. He does everything himself. And if people buy it, they buy it, and if they don't, he's just like, hey. And he currently owns the largest movie studio in the world. I do not like Tyler Perry's work, but if that nigga wanted to give me a job, ooh, girl.
But let me jump in here real quick, because y'all be pissing me off with the Tyler Perry shit. Have you seen The Family That Prays? Have you seen Good Deeds?
Get this, both of those movies are actually one of his better ones in concept, but overall the writing is still bad, the execution is still bad, the acting, he somehow generates shitty performances out of great actors.
I disagree. Good Deeds and The Family That Prays are really good films.
They're good in concept. They're not good films.
Okay, I think they're good films, and here's why. I think that black people, black men specifically, are harder on Tyler Perry than you would be on some corny white actor comedian. That's what I think.
Oh, name a corny white actor comedian.
Yeah, name one.
You name them.
Well,
Pete
Adam
Davidson.
Sandler isn't
Pete Davidson
necessarily
is not that funny.
amazing. Adam Sandler isn't amazing. He had he's
Is
a
not.
very spotty, career. He's maybe had maybe one or two actual movies that I was like, yeah, that's great, that's hilarious, that's amazing.
Jim Carrey. What about Jim Carrey?
Oh no,
How do you
Jim
feel
Jim Carrey is different. Jim
Yeah,
Carrey is
he's Jim Carrey's
Jim Carrey.
amazing.
He's
greatest actor.
untouchable.
Jim Carrey is the legend.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
can't touch Jim Carrey. That's different. That's Jim
There's
Carrey.
there's actually a lot of white people that I don't mess with, Jim. We just don't have this conversation.
But I'm just saying that I think people are extra hard on Tyler Perry, and I really do think that what he's accomplished should trump all the shit y'all talking about. That's what I think.
I would never comment his accomplishments. He really worked himself up from the mud. What he has done for Atlanta is just amazing. Like, he is a good man who does good things. He is not a good artist,
but it's
his
not
art,
quality.
objectively. His art is not good. The man should have never picked up a camera. Get this, for the church plays, for the aunties on the buses, it works. Movies and television shows, the man is a hack. Like,
so why did I get married? Why did I get married, and why did I get married too? No,
again,
like that
either.
either.
Love those movies, but poorly written.
Yeah, they're anti-church plays. Again, you can think something's entertaining and you can get by. Like, I still think that the best movie with Tyler Perry's name attached to it is Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and that's the one he didn't direct, and that movie is still not good. Like, he's not the man does know the most artsy I've seen him get was with what was that one movie, the thriller he tried to do.
I forgot the name of it. I know what you're talking about.
With Taraji P. Henson.
But Friday to you is a gem. Friday is a gem to you.
Friday is not necessarily cinematic language at its best. However, when it comes to writing and original ideas, Friday was an accident. Friday should not have been.
Friday wasn't
because if Tyler Perry did Friday, you'd be talking shit about Friday because you already have an outlook on Tyler Perry.
Because
we have a million.
Yes, you
would have had a bad wig on
because of Friday. There was the reason when Ice Cube was writing Friday, he enjoyed his time on the production of Boys in the Hood, and he liked the filmmaking process. So he was like, I want to do my own movie. And he was like, there's a lot of movies coming out, like it was the 90s. He was like, there's a lot of movies coming out about the hood and Compton and stuff. He was like, not every single day in the hood is bad. Now, Friday is about literally a bad day.
Lily, you want to throw the cap, or you want me to throw it?
But Friday.
It's Tyler Perry, man. I don't know.
Friday does stand out because it was unique for the time.
If Tyler Perry directed Friday, there will be bad wigs all over the place. All right, a bunch of light skinned dudes.
You can get past bad wigs.
A bunch of light skinned dudes playing basketball. It wouldn't have been the same movie.
This is the thing.
Tyler Perry couldn't make Friday. He wouldn't make Friday.
Coming out of Atlanta and dealing with a lot of actors that work with Tyler Perry and at Tyler Perry Studios, I hear a lot of stories, right? At the same time, I feel like Tyler is too valuable to bash in public.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you. No, be quiet, Spo, be quiet. Lily, can you say that again? Hold on. Oh shit, look who we got. One of the OG Chef Shapino.
What's going on, Chef?
What's up, Chef? Oh, hold on, Chef. You got a shirt on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You got a shirt. I was like, Chef is coming through.
He's coming
What
through.
What's going? Oh, no, it's brown.
I seen a girl walking down the street with a bodysuit the same color as her skin, and I thought she was nude.
Good to see you, Chef. Good to see you, Chef.
All artists. Been a minute.
Spro, you're not Spro. Thank you, Chef. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well, love.
Yeah, all is always well. I literally just wanted to pop in for a minute because, I'm the guy that always puts in little definitions in the chat. So I wanted to bring a couple of points of clarity in terms of one of the topics we were discussing, right? I said,
okay, is it this one?
It's literally around the Ice Cube situation.
Okay,
So,
real quick, hold that thought,
talk to me.
because I want Lily to finish saying what she's saying. And this is where I'm coming from. It's just Lily's expressing it better than I did a minute ago. I just want to beat you all down with caps. But Lily, can you say that again? Because that's really my issue about Tyler Perry. That's really the beginning and end of it. Can you please repeat that again for the people?
Right. So I it's not like I don't have my critiques, right? But the thing is, I just feel like when I outweigh what he's doing for the community versus the other things, I feel like the good far outweighs the bad. So I feel like he's too valuable. And this is why it is hard as hell to get our shit greenlit as Black creators. So to he's really the only one really getting us lit like that. So that's why he's so valuable. So it's like, why if we were to get rid of him and diminish him, what else do we have for real? Right. So yes, we can go on about the art and I got my own, but it's just I feel like what he's doing is too valuable for Black. A lot of people, like I said, he's a thing of trail mix, and I always use that as an analogy for certain people. But I feel like I can eat more things out the bag and be left with less things that I can pass off to somebody else. So that's
So
just
that's my issue with it, that you guys think you're being critical of a regular old person. Like you're talking about, oh, what that movie Marlon Wayans did, or this man is an icon. Okay, he
Marlon
went from
Wayans made shit
nothing.
too.
Hold on, bro. But Marlon Wayans did not go from fucking zero to building $1 billion empire. And Marlon Wayans had a fucking army of brothers working together. We're talking about one man that went from being homeless to building the biggest studio we've ever seen to $1 billion empire. Okay, and I just think that sometimes we need to shut the fuck up. We
I'm
we
not.
know we know the
I'm
wigs. We know the wigs are on backwards. We know, David. I saw you ask how many have won Oscars nominated. Well, how many comedies have won Oscars? Period. Like comedy is not big at the Oscars anyway.
Yeah,
Very,
no,
very
I'm not.
snobbish in drama film.
Yeah,
He's done
Oscars
Yeah.
are
drama as well.
full
He's
of
done drama.
shit, and when they do get
Yeah.
it right, it's for BS reasons.
So
So
the
that
whole
was
thing is that
my. Hold on, Snap, because I did interrupt Chef Shapino, and I know he had
okay.
something on this. Chef, what say you?
Yeah, I'm literally right in pocket with you guys because all of it ties in. We can't take anything away from Tyler Perry at this point. And that's funny you picked out two of my favorite ones, which are Good Deeds and The Family That Prays. You know, because I like the end. I like the ones at the end where the folks get what they're supposed to get. Right. So I get it. We can't take anything away from him. But the funny thing is when we mention him and then we think about what Ice Cube was talking about, and just in terms of whatever race, when you talk about a gatekeeper, right? Every race has one, right? And what that is normally the most famous or the most successful person of that particular, let's not even say race, of that particular grouping or mindset, right? For Asian people, it may be Deepak Chopra. I mean, for Indian people, it may be Deepak Chopra, right? There's going to be in the music industry, there's going to be a Latino artist who's the gatekeeper, the OG of it. In hip hop, they got gatekeepers. So when we talk about it, it's less of a racial.
Mute your
Hey,
mics,
I'm
guys. Mute
live,
your
baby.
mics.
No, that's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's Daddy's live, baby. It's okay. So sorry about that. Right. So when it comes down to the gatekeepers, the gatekeepers are actually the people who have the most power. Then because remember the industry as a whole, entertainment, they're like pariahs. They're cows that graze where the grass is. All right. So they see something that's hot, they're gonna go to it. But what they do is they go to the most successful folks within that genre. So if they want to make a movie, they're going to go find the most successful black guy that's going to be there. And they're going to go to the most successful director and they're going to invest money behind those because they figure those are going to be the people that represent the rest because they garner the mass of their attention. So the whole gatekeeping thing, I believe, because when Ice Cube talked about it, he was more so speaking in terms of the big three, his basketball league, right? And I still think it was bullshit because he's expecting the NBA to, even if his stuff is a dope idea, he's expecting a competing business to want to acquiesce to his chance to grow. No, they're not going to do that. If I come up with the fucking, formula that's way better than Coca-Cola. It's killing Coke. It's killing any cola. Right. And Coca-Cola doesn't like it. I'm gonna now say, oh, they don't support black business. They're trying to blackball me. No, it's not in their best interest for your better thing. And I've amassed a certain amount of resources, and I've monopolized a certain area, and I do, I collude with other businesses, price fixing, all of this. Why should I want to let you come in as the new guy to take my stuff? You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and that's a great point.
Yeah, so the gatekeeping exists. You get what I'm saying? But in terms of his situation, it does not equate. It's incongruent with what he's going on. He has a great idea. They would prefer to come up with their own version of that idea as opposed to allowing him, an opportunity to hustle on their block.
So I want to pull this comment up. Great point, Chef, and I'm gonna circle back to that. Dwayne Rose says, no, black folks are not going to shut the fuck up about ethnic images Perry shares to the world. Choose your battles. So I'm gonna push back on it and say,
Shut up.
Did you care when Snoop Dogg was walking black women around on leashes? Do you care when black women are on stage all acting like a bunch of whores bent over with their cracks open? Do you care when black rappers are talking about doing Molly and Percocet and drinking and killing each other in the raps? Do you care about those ethnic images, or you just care when a black man puts on a dress? Moving on.
Can I say
Moving
something?
on.
Just spreading their cracks.
I'd like to
Chef.
Everybody got their
on
crack
this.
open on stage. Everybody got their crack open on stage. Do you care about those images, or are you clapping because you want to see her bend over? Stop the cap.
I'd like
Chef.
I see
why they-
Spro, hold on, man. You've been talking a lot. Let me get my point across here. I'm going to say what Chef said. I got to agree with them 100%. We saw the NBA squash and won when they got competitive, and they pretty much copied them and used businesses and things to put them pretty much out of business. So he's exactly right on that. What I want to say about what Ice Cube was talking about. So here's my thought on that. When he talks about the gatekeepers and we know who they are. If you're talking about getting your movie distributed around the world, yeah, there are some companies that you got to go to be able to push your movie, right? But if we're talking about like, it really sounds like after, and Jen, I know I watched it, and after I watched these, I've only seen 2 to 3 of this Schwarzenegger documentary, and you see how he didn't let anybody tell him no. He was told he couldn't do certain things, and he found a way to do it.
And he didn't come from money. Constantly, they were telling him no.
And it was an amazing documentary because I didn't realize he was already a millionaire before he ever went into the movies. So what I'm saying is it really sounds like an excuse when you're saying certain people are holding, in the movie industry, and you know who they are. They're making sure we don't get, they make sure a lot of people don't get movies made. It's not just him.
Black, white, purple, Latin, yellow, green, hence gatekeeper.
Yeah. I mean, so there are plenty of people. There are plenty of, there are companies in Canada. There are companies in other parts of the world that you could probably go to if you want to go to somebody, or with your money that you've made through the years, you can self-produce it yourself. Now, getting it distributed is going to be difficult, but it's difficult for, anybody who's an independent,
I wanted to say really quickly, when he says gatekeepers and you know who they are, no, we don't. I don't know if he's talking about the Jewish people. I don't know if he's talking about rich black. I really don't know who he's talking about. But because these celebrities want to be vague, I'm like, who are you to? Are you doing the Kanye complaining? I don't know who they are.
Well, he said per the video that he's supposed to let us know throughout the summer. He said he dropped some veiled threats. And he said this is going to be a very interesting summer because he pretty much said he's going to spill all the tea on all the gatekeepers and what's really going on. So I'm going to just sit back and grab my teacup and sip slow.
Okay. Can't wait to see. But I see it like a rich people tantrum, right? Because it's the same thing, kind of like, this may sound like unrelated, but it kind of is. It's the same thing with Monique, right? When Monique doesn't get her way, she wants it to be a community project for her to get right. My babies, I love us for real. You notice you haven't heard Monique say that in a while, right? But let her get stopped. let her get stopped from the next film, then it's going to be everybody's problem, right? And I think that's what Ice Cube is doing. So again, and I'm a fan of Ice Cube, his success, what he's done, you know what I mean, in the industry. But what do you want us to do? We paying bills, homie. We got our own shit that we got to get green lit. What do you want us to do is my question. What would you like common folk to do? Because that's who you're talking to. I think that conversation he was having to the camera should be had amongst his peers, the other millionaires, the other people that have gotten projects greenlit in the past, and they should be coming up with a plan to get past the gatekeepers. What does he want us to do?
So
Sip that tea. I'm gonna sip.
now, here's other perspective, right? And this is
Mhm.
not a disagreement. This is just to kind of tie in a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
What he's stating, and it alludes to the thing in the past, the contract for Black America, right?
Okay.
That he came up with. All right, I understood there was several things that made a lot of sense in terms of community wise, right? Cool. Here was the thing. He tried to present it to Biden and Kamala Harris and said he wanted to meet with them to share it, because he thought it was going to be something that would help the community. Fine. What Biden told him was, well, we'll talk after I win. If I win, pretty much help me win and we'll talk about it after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you, Jen, if you have an idea that's something great for the people within the US, right? A large
Mhm.
group of people in the US,
Mhm.
and you have two groups of people that may become president, more than
Mhm.
likely it would make more sense for you to go to both sides, right? Because it's going to help the people.
Yep.
Well, what had happened was the whole left leaning, and we're not going to get too much into it, right? Some aspects of the left leaning, what they did was they flipped it because Trump said, come on in. And what happened was they told Ice Cube no, but they went and met with Cardi B. Biden and Harris went and they sat down and had a conference with Cardi B, but didn't want to discuss the contract for Black America with Ice Cube. Trump
Right.
welcomed them with open arms. And then what happened was, what we say, our community turned him into a pariah. Why the hell would you meet with him? Dummy, because he was going to be the fucking president of the United States, and he did. Well, no, after the fact, but he had a great choice, and he was the president. You get what I'm saying? Not he
Right.
did, but he was. Why wouldn't you want to bring something to a sitting president? You get what I'm saying? This is for the people. This is not for one political party. This is for the people. So that's pretty much. And what he's stating is that once that happened, because some of the millionaires that are supposedly the gatekeepers, that's particularly the impetus or precipitating factor for them blackballing them.
The
Mm.
Because
names of those plans were
that's
very
what he
interesting.
claims.
The names of those plans were very interesting. I remember Cube, he sat down with Trump and they came up with it and they called it the Platinum Plan. And then Biden and his people, they responded with their plan. It was called Lift Every Voice. And this just sounded it just sounded like
Singing lessons.
I mean, it just, anyway, go ahead.
Oh man,
I swear politics is comedy show for me. But go on.
that shit was.
Okay.
Talk about pandering.
Absolutely, it was disgusting. But I will say this: what Ice Cube did, I was full steam ahead with him on it. I'm not a big Trump fan, you know what I mean, but power is power. And I actually read the plan that he had, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But again,
No.
our people, we get caught up in our trauma. We are married to our trauma. We are married to reaction. If we can't elicit a reaction, if a reaction can't be elicited, we don't care. Like if we can't get angry or sad or be in the position of throwing something, we don't care about the subject.
Interesting.
And people play on that. People play on our emotions every day
Right.
because
That's a very
they know
strange-
that.
Emotionalism.
Oh,
Yep.
Jen remembers the scab.
Oh yeah, the
Well,
scab comment. I talk about that a lot.
that's
And
why
when
they
you're
Yeah,
use
in that
pathos
particular
when
place
they
as a
address
human
us.
being,
yeah.
one second. When you're in that particular place as a human being, you can easily be manipulated. You can easily be pointed in whatever direction and controlled, you know what I mean? And just puppeteered, man, because you're never speaking and existing from a place of critical thinking.
Dr. Khalid Mohammed said, "Remote control Negro."
That's it, man. That's it, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got trapped in
Uh,
it.
m- moving on, hit that like and subscribe for me, darlings. I do want to move on to. I see in the chat y'all like, but white people. I mean, we're not on the plantation. Get off the fucking plantation already.
Stop using them
Moving on.
as the moral compass. That's your problem.
There's a
Every time
compass to
something happens,
everything.
every time something happens, it's like, did white people do it? Then it's okay. Hey,
Do white people do it?
Nah, did white people do it? All right, then. Yeah, it's a go.
You know why? Because it's not about what's actually right or wrong. It's about can I get away with
Right or
what someone
wrong.
else got away with. We talk about justice and like, oh, fairness. It's not really about that. It's about, oh, that person got away with something that I said was bad. I also want to have the same privilege, I guess.
Kind of like Trump.
Right. Establish the
Kinda like-
precedent.
What?
Yeah.
Continue on.
What's kind of like Trump?
Die with the lie.
No, they said I do this, but so and so did this, and they got away
Yeah,
with it.
he does
Kind
that
of
a
like
lot.
Trump.
He does that a
He throws
lot.
Thank you for
he
the
throws
example.
Everybody under the, he throws everybody under the
You know what?
bus.
No, you're
With him
you're
getting
actually right. He does. He
So
does.
let's
He
let's
does
let's
do that.
let's move on. Let's move on because we haven't gotten to the meat and taters. I want to get through this as quickly as I can. We have to get to that Chicago shooting. Speaking of the industry, we have two fashionistas on the panel. There's Mr. David Hand and Lily Washington. What do you guys think of the BET fashions? If you saw it, I don't really watch award shows much more, but I was wondering, a lot of people, the sentiment online was that the BET Awards are very, very ghetto. I mean, even the ghetto girls were calling BET ghetto. Ice Spice was like, it was fun, but it was ghetto. That says a lot. That says a lot from a woman who bends over as her shtick on stage.
And opens her ass crack.
And opens her ass crack. So her calling something ghetto is quite interesting. There was a fight. TJ,
Well, goddamn.
Uzi, JT, little Uzi versus girlfriend. So the rumor is he was sitting too close to Ice Spice, and she got into a fight with Uzi, threw her phone at him, was cursing him out in the audience. Another woman did a video where she was like, people farting in here, they farting. Who the fuck you think you are walking by me farting? So this is basically the vibe. This is the vibe of the BET Awards. Sukiyana, the woman who claims she can suck the black off a dick and has posted videos and pictures of her come on her face, stuff like that. She was sitting on everybody's lap at the BET Awards. It was chock full of this type of behavior. So the question is, were the BET Awards evidence of an industry's downfall, and whose fault is that? Lily did give us a quick red carpet look. I'm going to play it for you. You guys, please answer the question. Were the BET Awards evidence of an industry's downfall, or is it just we're old heads and we don't get it? Here's the fashion of that night. All right.
Now play the fashion.
This is called This is called government.
I don't know.
Government cheese couture.
What was that?
Was there
That
a
was
motherfucker with a Jolly Rancher mink on or some shit like that? I don't know. What the
Come
fuck?
on.
and listen, I was very fair. I really was trying to pick out the best, and of course the worst too. So those were the best in there. The best was in there.
Fashion
So
is
watch
not a
this.
nudity contest, everyone. Just throwing
That
that
was the
out there.
best.
That was
The,
Yeah.
You ever
the,
see
the, the
those
best.
pictures?
I don't know nothing about fashion. I don't know
Okay.
nothing about
Listen,
fashion, but I don't know what the hell that was.
Jen,
Okay.
before I jump off
I
here,
don't know.
Uh-huh.
because I got some stuff to do for work in the morning.
All
I
right,
just want to
Chef.
make one comment about what we just watched and keep it congruent with the conversation. That's why the hell there's gatekeepers. Okay?
Right.
That's why gatekeepers exist. You understand what I'm saying? Okay?
In
Yes.
case you were wondering.
So that's
Bring
why. That's
back
why.
the gatekeepers and the
gatekeepers.
shaming. And the shaming. The
How
gatekeepers
many
and the
of them
shaming.
you think would be at the Tonys or the Oscars or the
Good
Emmys?
Or the
point.
Yeah, I can't
Grammys
see Al
or
Pacino in a Jolly Rancher mink. I can't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
man.
rainbow.
was that a Steve Harvey suit that we saw on somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You ever
Thanks,
see
Jen.
those
Uh,
pictures
Thanks, Jen,
from
for
hold-
like
putting that on my spirit.
Oh
E
man.
Black TV, E Black TV, hello, sir, is in the building. He says, "Hey, Jen, and the panel. Also, Becky with the good hair."
Hey,
That is hilarious.
oh, snap.
It's the wink for me.
Hey, peace, love,
Wow.
and light, y'all. I'm out, man. It was fun. Y'all talk
Thanks,
to you
Chef.
again.
Come back. Come
Right,
back
Chef.
soon. Come back soon, Chef.
Definitely.
You
Hold
cooking.
it down, y'all.
Mi casa, su casa.
Those
All right,
pictures
yo.
look
You're going
like
to catch me in my drugs making eggs. Peace.
All right. E Black, we're back on Atheist versus Religion this Thursday. I hope you could join us, sir. We're coming at it from a different angle, though. Okay. So I hope you'll hear. All right, guys. So looking at that fashion and hearing what went on the BET Awards, is it evidence of an industry's downfall? And also, someone asked, would you see those fashions or that behavior at the Tony or Oscars? Are you policing Black people? Are you policing Black people? Is that part of the culture? Are we in denial that Black culture is what we just saw on that carpet and the behavior that was inside the award show? Is there a demographic of Black people and that's very much their culture and you're shaming them? Pass
there
the
is a
mic.
demographic. I literally, so what's weird about this is literally just today, I was talking to a friend who he made a Facebook post about how he was like, yo, the BET Awards were, I think he just was saying like they were very mid and like just drawing. And I was like, dude, I didn't see it. I first off, I haven't watched BET since it was like 106, like AJ and Free. Like that's how long it's been since I've even bothered, right?
Me too.
I think the entire idea is disgusting. I think it should be deplatformed. The fact that we in 2023 have an entire network dedicated to one particular race, and then not only that, to double down, it only highlights and glorifies the most negative, disgusting aspects of said race and culture. BET just as a whole is trash. I never liked it. I hated watching movies on there because they would always play movies that needed to be edited to all hell. The shows are shitty. The idea is shitty. First off, it's insulting. Black entertainment television. I'm Black and I am not entertained. The fact that the BET Awards look like that is not a shock.
But it is on television. It is on television.
It is on TV though, and it's owned by Disney. All right, so like the entire idea just need those pictures look like, you ever see those pictures from like, it'll be like, prom in Georgia or shit like that. That's what those look like. That was disgusting. And you know what? It is a depiction of Black culture. And the fact that stuff was allowed, it wouldn't happen at the Tonys or Oscars. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a race thing, but the fact that the BET Awards is solely focused and they go out of their way to be like, we here, we colored, we proud, blah, blah, blah. That's why it's allowed. It's glorified. And Ice Spice, I still have never heard a song from this young lady, but I have seen her. Yeah, she's always been in the fuck over. The fact that she was like, yo, this was ratchet is drawing. Get this. You perpetuate and you're part of the problem. Every single Negro in the building. I had a buddy that was there too. He went this year. Even him, because he be on some drawing stuff too. Every single Negro under the roof, y'all like it. Y'all have no problem with it. You glorify it. You put it up. That's Black culture. What's the problem? It ain't white people. It's niggas.
Well, here, look, listen. I will agree with what Jen said earlier about Tyler Perry. We're far more passionate about a black man in a dress than we are about black women behaving like whores in public and on screens or whichever. I will say this though: I'm wondering at what point in time did the call for accountability become associated, just blatantly synonymous with anti-blackness? You know what I mean? I'm really trying to figure that out. And there are a number, whoever's watching this now, whoever stumbles upon this 20 years from now, I will say this. You feel the same way, such as a man such as I feel. You the things that I say, you think the same things. The only difference between you and I is that I have the balls to actually say it, but you're too much of a coward because you need to go along to get along, because it is the fear of being called a coon or ostracization or losing your black card. You're willing to be associated with degeneracy. You're willing to be associated with poor behavior. And to me, that is the ultimate traitor. That is the ultimate traitor.
Right. I mean, why is it that black culture has become so synonymous with degeneracy, ghetto, like just everything negative when we have because look, this is my thing. I don't have a problem with a little degeneracy, a little ghetto, a little twerking. Like, I don't have a problem with that, right? Because yes, that is a part of it, a small part of it, but black people are like such a large, vast variety, but it just seems like in the last recent years we have become so synonymous. And like Spro, I haven't watched BT or EBT since it became EBT, right? Because when I was younger, they had like Teen Summit and like they had
Video Soul, Donnie
Video
Simpson.
They had so
We're
many
hating
things.
ourselves.
I liked College
Right.
Hill. I did.
College Hill and
I liked
all
College.
of that stuff, right? But and even by the time they got to College Hill, it started going downhill. But
Yeah, but I liked it.
but there was still an element of balance there, right? What I'm seeing is like the balance is being erased. I'm past saying slowly erased. At this point, it's just really difficult to watch.
Here's the thing. Here's the irony of it all. All this stuff that you're seeing right now, panel, if you recall, you only saw this shit on like BET After Dark. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember
When
that.
everybody was dead asleep, and if you're up, like, here's a cookie, here's some titties, you're up here. You know what I mean? That was the only time you saw happening.
Oh, and I want to add something. I was listening to people's like behind the scenes take of what was going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
One person said when they was entering, there was mad security because the artists weren't allowed to bring their own personal security. So the person who was telling the story
What?
said
Why?
that I don't know, but the person who told the story was saying that the security guard that checked their car said that they had already seized 20 guns that day already. So, like, I mean, it was a lot going on. And then we got the fight between Jay Z and Little Uzi over the whole Ice Spice thing. It was just a lot of things going on. But I do want to highlight one good thing. Um, Busta Rhymes. He did a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful speech. He got his Lifetime Achievement Award, and
Mm-hmm.
so he talked a lot about his keys to success, and then, he attributed it to. Ironically enough, this is so funny. Ironically enough, he attributed to him being Caribbean, growing up in a Jamaican household, and being raised differently,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then that led to him having a level of work ethic, and that's what had got him through the tough times. He talked about a lot of his tough times in the industry and things like that, and how he got through. So that was really interesting. So I don't want to overlook that part either.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to address this. I'm going to get off this topic. So the execs now pick talentless and dumb people because they're easy to make a quick buck off of them, as opposed to rising up and beating competition in the business. Here's the thing. Do the execs, let's just say the execs pick them, but the community and the culture supports it.
Yes.
The community and the culture listens to it. So here's the thing. Here's a crazy idea. Pay attention right now. Hip hop is not really as powerful as it used to be. It's the first year that there's no number one song, no number one album. Do you know why? Because a very large sect of the people who used to listen to hip hop, they're now listening to Latin. They're now, listening to country. They're listening to other things that are being a lot more innovative and so on. Hip hop is redundant as shit, and the only people who are listening to this shit right now are low IQ individuals. And yes, it's a quick buck, and the industry is like, fuck it. It's literally just fast food at this point in time. I'll pass the mic on that.
We keep buying it.
Mr. David Hand, what did you think about the fashion?
Look, I haven't watched BET since Donnie Simpson left video, so
Good for you, David.
dead ass. But based on the Lily, you did that compilation.
And I tried to help them
I know.
out. I really did. I did.
know.
I did my best.
There wasn't any. There was ill fits everywhere, and how close can I get to nudity everywhere? That's what I saw.
And I wanted to say rainbow realness, but that's just too nice. Rainbow has better stuff than that these days. It was actually give me like the Dominicans in the Bronx, those little side shops, and like they like give you like Dominican church lady, especially Glorilla's outfit gave me Dominican church lady.
Yeah. What I hate the most is what David said, is the fit.
Yes.
Like it looks like
Some look
like early.
pajamas.
Yeah, it looked like early like Destiny's Child when Tina Knowles was making those horrid outfits and sewing shit together. It's like, no tailors here. Who's your tailor?
Even the hems.
Yeah, just horrible. Thank you so much for the super chat, Chef Shapino. Chef says, some say BET was better before it was sold to Viacom, aka white folks, as it was distinguished while we had it. You are referring to the new BET.
False.
Okay.
BET is a concept. Again, it used to be better. BET just as a concept, it is extremely toxic. And what's crazy is Black Americans go on and on about like, we just want to be treated like everybody else. Stop separating yourself. I'm not saying move along with the crowd, but stop. You're segregating yourself. We're like, oh, black owned, black this, black that. That's cute and shit. You're separating yourself. Black entertainment, again, which I'm a Black American. I'm not entertained by it. It's insulting to me. I think it's shit. They play shit, and then when they do play good things, it's edited to hell. It's bad.
You tired of watching? You tired of watching Baby Boys, bro?
I'm tired of watching Baby Boy, and I don't like. I can't watch Baby Boy on there because it's hacked to hell. They cut out everything. I want to see him punch Yvette. I don't want to see it quick cut.
Right.
Punch her like that.
So Ish says it's a new trend with events that your personal security has to wait outside. I can see why. I mean, because your personal security is usually Pookie, your cousin Pookie, that got the Glock on him.
That was just about to say that a lot of these entertainers, they do not have the money to actually purchase a respectable security service. So it's their brother or their whomsoever who just came home. Got 3 bodies on him, and he's ready to, make it pop. The shit goes down. So
guns that were seized. That's the crazy thing. It's like, aren't you all? This is a room of professional Black Americans, right? And y'all show up strapped. Like, don't you know that you're not going to be allowed to go? Like, you show up, and like for a lot of these guys, especially the rappers, a lot of it is just so. It can be a story. Yeah, I had the strap on me. I mean, they took the burner from me. Like, I mean, but like I stay strapped because just so they can say it. That
was really good, bro. That was
you did
really
the mumble
good.
real well. You sounded like you had like a pint of lean. You gave me like an ounce of weed. I really loved it. You did a great job.
All right, guys. If you are lurking, hit that like and subscribe. We're getting into the main topic tonight, which is no charges for Chicago mother-son shooter duo. No charges for Chicago mother-son shooter duo. I'm curious to see how the panel feels, what sides we're on. I'm going to say this and pass the mic. The other day, I was telling women, I went on a rant, and I was telling women that a lot of these motherfuckers are not going to know how to act around you. So get strapped, get insured, get your CCW, get registered. I said that, right? Because one day you may have to put a hole in one. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This woman, no matter how they tried to paint her, is not a two-bit thug that was carrying a gun for no reason. She was registered, okay? The gun was registered, okay? And I will pass the mic on that, but I am glad that this happened because it is an example of what I was saying the other day. A lot of these dudes are running around hating and loathing women, and that is how they're going to approach you, and you may have to stop a clock. I'll
Yeah,
pass the mic.
a lot of men are definitely unraveling right now, and we've been talking about that a lot in the last 6 months. There's been a lot of unraveling. So there's a lot going on here with this case, right? And there was conflicting information, but I went back and I was able to kind of get the gist of it and boil it down because on some stories were saying that she called her son in. Then there were other stories they cleared up and said no, her son came in on his own. Now, because like that does kind of change the situation because people was like, well, why would you involve your son and put your son into this type of situation?
Mm-hmm.
But then if someone's son walks in and see that his mother just got punked, that's a crime of passion. So
Mm-hmm.
I can see why the judge would say, okay, because I always say you can't attack somebody and tell them how mad to get. And so that's why crimes of passion exist. That's why it's on the law because we're humans. We're animals first, right? And so the law recognizes that, and they know that our primal instincts, anything can bring out our primal instincts. Not even we can know. So it's so easy for us to say what we would do and what we wouldn't do in certain situations. Like I explained, for me, what brings out my primal instincts is driving. It's the one thing that brings it out. Everything else, I can keep my cool on so many things that most people can't keep. But that one thing brings it out of me. So that's why it's on the books. I'll stop there because I have more.
Can someone
Okay.
answer how did the gun get in the kid's hand?
It wasn't in the car.
The kid was in the car, and the mother texted him to bring the gun. I guess there was some beef or whatever. We don't know what was said in the text. People are speculating. However, that is how the gun went from point A to point B. She texted him like, "Hey, there's trouble." I'm not saying that verbatim. I don't know exactly what was in the text, but the boy came with the gun into the food place.
I don't think it was a crime of passion. I think it was a justified kill. That gentleman was, in comparison to the woman, he was large enough, big enough, fast enough to have killed her. And in that instance, a life was being saved. The young man took out the trash. Yes, I say the trash. He did what was necessary, what I say needs to be necessary at times when a statement needs to be made. And that man did not have to respond in that manner to that woman. And he fucked around and found out. I am glad that neither of them are being charged. Hopefully they will. I'm not a huge advocate of therapy, but in this particular case, it may make sense for them to sit down and discuss this or seek some type of help, but they need to move on from this, leave that community. Something that young man needs to be, needs to heal from this. But overall, he did a great thing. He protected his mother. I'm proud of him, and I'll pass the mic on that.
I resent that remark. You're not a big fan of therapy. What do you think happens when you and I are on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
See,
I'm gonna start charging it.
This is the part where I tell you didn't have to talk about that. This is the part where I tell you it's not about me.
Okay, so all right, so let's pass the mic. I see the chat is saying Dawood says no charges, not happy. But I understand Jeremy was doing too much. Keep your hands to yourself. Or my Vegatron says the only thing I disagree with is her putting her son in that situation. I can't ask my child to do that. Passing the mic, guys. Go
Mm.
ahead.
I wanted to be polite this time and not just be like,
Thank
"Hey,
you, Spro. Thank you, Spro.
I'm
No
trying to
saint was
learn.
on you. No saint was
I'm
on you,
learning.
boy. And
I'm
I was
learning."
out the way. I was like,
I know
it was
he's
light
son.
skin
No
on
saint is
light
becoming
skin violence.
right. No saint becoming a New Yorker day by day. Just
He sunned the shit out of me earlier, so it humbled me, right?
There you go.
So here's the thing. So I saw that your thing was about this, right?
Yes.
Earlier, like I was watching like when I got home, and like the beginning of the stream, and I had seen it in headlines, but I don't keep up with like that kind of stuff. I keep up with like politics and entertainment
Okay.
news. So I asked my wife, I was like, "Hey, Jen's talking about this kid and his mom. What's going on with that?" So my wife gave me the tea as she knows it. So what she
Okay.
told me was, she was like, this guy was mad that he had to wait in line behind this lady. He gets in the words with her, and he like just starts like wailing on her. And I was like, oh snap. Now I know the end result is this guy gets killed. So I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, oh fuck him. Like whatever happened, like obviously was justified. And then she tells me, oh, her 14-year-old son is in the car. And this is just to what my wife knew. And she apparently saw like the whatever video there is or whatever.
Yes.
Comes in, bomb, right in the back of the head, bull gets dropped, no charges. So when I heard that initially, my whole thing was, didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. However, and this is how I thought before I got some more information from you guys. I was like, I can dig it. If I was a judge, there needs to be some kind of thing. What I said was, I was like, I would give my mans, just to be safe, to be fair, and like just looking at the law, life was taken. I mean, you're 14, you have a firearm. I mean, that's strong. We can't act like that's okay. I was like, give him a month in juvie. I would order him to take therapy, because something like that, which is why when Haran said that, I was like, I literally, just from the little bit I knew, and I didn't even have the whole story. I was like, just don't hang the kid, a little, put him in timeout or whatever, just to be, for technicality's sake, order him to go through therapy. And then other than that, hey, I can dig it. And what I don't like about this is one of those stories where people who lean a certain way politically will see something like this and use it as, they'll be like, oh, you see, there go those leftists again, just not caring, not giving a fuck. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my opinions, like if you look at my channel, a lot of my opinions get categorized as being far right and blah blah blah, just because of the weird culture war that we're in nowadays. However, I would categorize myself as being a true liberal personally. And something I've noticed nowadays, which you guys heard me talk about several times here on the panel, is I'm not adopting any categories. I'm addressing each point, and I'm noticing just weird biases and finger pointing on each side. And this is one of those stories where, it's a black woman. And you guys already know I'm not on that race shit, but let's just be real here. It's a black woman, her young son, they're in the Shy, and a bull got shot, and they got away with it. Just from hearing that, fuck, Alex Jones, if he gets a hold of that, it's like, you see? And that adds more fuel to the fire, and it's drawing. Then it's gonna be, the left, they just love criminals, black people can do whatever, the frogs are gay, and it's just, it's madness. And just from hearing, so like, I didn't know that it was her firearm. I didn't know that she was licensed. I didn't know that she texted her son. Now we don't know the text message. That I think
we don't.
Probably change a few people's opinions in teensy bit. However, it would appear as though I can see where the judge is like, hey, I don't really think some kind of order. Put them through therapy, like on the court's dime, like at least the kid. I also think that is weird. He was 14, correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
He's 14. And like how the last comment, it was like, oh, why is she getting her son? I don't think that that's cool. It is drawing, but we got to also think of the reality. And to get this, the reality that I'm about to describe does not necessarily condone the action, but you have to understand. Single black woman, single mother, black woman. Her son is with her. Her son is 14, so he's turning into a man. That's the man in her life. A bull just wailed on her. So yeah, that's who she's going to call her son. Yeah, she's going to call her son. And what is a son going to do? Especially a teenager. He's going to defend his mom.
So one of the arguments I'm pretty sure you all have seen it online too, right? Is that this they're turning this into a gender wars as well. It's turning into a race war, it's turning into a gender war,
How?
right? Oh, I mean, they turn everything into it. And so, but I'm gonna give you the talking points that I've seen floating around, right? So one of them, it's like, um, they are accusing her of, I guess, they're saying like this is what happens when you make your son your man by proxy, right?
Red
It's like,
pill.
yeah, that type of stuff. And then
Ah.
of course you got the whole racial component as well. So it's like, people are always going to try to find a spin and put their own personal biases and their own personal whatever it is that they're going through into it as well. But I just wanted to add in some of those points that people are saying across the net.
I didn't know there was a gender war thing, but now that you mention it, I could definitely see a bunch of manosphere, especially the black manosphere, being like, you see black women, yeah, they
Yeah.
call them son husbands, which I do
Yes.
think is a thing in our community. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
However, giant dude punching someone's mom, like is someone wailing on your mom for whatever reason, you're not gonna. Again, I'm not saying my first reaction would be shoot the guy, even if I had a gun, but this isn't a race thing. This is a woman thing. This is a man thing. So, like, honestly, the dudes the red pill guys, they're starving for content because people are starting to see through their bullshit. So anytime it's a woman and like if a guy get this, she didn't even kill the guy. Her son technically did it.
Right.
It wasn't even her. So anytime, especially a black woman, the black woman's involved. And again, you guys already know I'm not on that race of the black woman, the most oppressed. I'm not on that type stuff. The fact that she's a black woman, the fact that she's a single mom, the fact that it's her teenage son that was involved, yeah, those cats are gonna. It's like blood in the water.
And she's now suing Chicago. Am I right?
Yeah.
She's suing. Says Carlicia Hood files lawsuit against City of Chicago and arresting officer cites false arrest, intentional infliction of emotion, distress, and more. And she's also started a GoFundMe.
That now that's where you lose me.
Yeah. So
here's the problem with the whole thing that I'm seeing. Let's just take into account, and this is what the manosphere is bullshit. Okay. You got this 14-year-old kid who's in this particular situation. Like, what was he supposed to do? Fight this big grown ass fucking man with it? You know what I mean? To get him off of his mother? No, he used his equalizer, which was a gun. He was supposed to shoot him in the foot? Like, I don't understand how this really works. But anyway, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. So this is kind of my take on the whole thing. First of all, I have no idea how far the young man lived away from this. I don't know if she also called.
He was in the car. He was in the car outside.
Okay. So that was the quickest way. So I get that. Okay, so that's cleared up. The problem I have is this. I don't have a problem with him defending his mom, and if that meant shooting that guy, I don't have a problem with that part. I have a problem with the guy egging it on in the restaurant. Someone was in there egging it on. And I have a problem. I think he should be charged. Now, he's a juvenile, but I think he should be charged because once you go after and once the person is fleeing and you go out there and you still continue to shoot, we have laws. That I can't stand that when people think I'm defending, so now I'm going to go finish the job as the person's fleeing. That's not the way it works. And that's what he did. And that's the
Is there evidence of that though?
That's what I'm reading the story. Read
the story and the source. Cite your source, please. Read the story and cite the source.
It means something that this is Chicago. On your average holiday weekend, you've got 50, conservatively maybe gunshot injuries coming through the hospitals over there and everything like that. Spro, absolutely, this kid's gonna need therapy. I don't agree with the juvie comment whatsoever. I think he came in and did what he had to do. No saint, it's Chicago.
That doesn't matter.
There was a comment in. It might not matter from a legal perspective.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I think from a social perspective, that does mean something because this guy. There was a comment that said the guy was armed. The dead guy, was he?
I'm not sure. I don't.
No,
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
don't think so.
I don't know anything about that.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
nothing about
but
that.
you don't know, and this is, we're trying to apply judgment on adult thinking to a 14-year-old
No,
child.
I get that part, and that's why I said it would be more juvenile, a juvenile type of court proceeding. I don't think you should be charged as an adult. So this is Fox 59. I'm gonna say it's out of Chicago, but I'll get to the part that I'm talking about. The man sustained 2 more gunshots. Let's see. The argument quickly turned physical when the man punched the woman in the head multiple times, authorities allege. Then the document states the woman's son displayed a firearm and fired shots at the man. He sustained a gunshot wound to the back. Documents state there was a witness laughing and encouraging the incident. The man then fled the restaurant, and the 14-year-old allegedly followed him, firing more shots.
What if the kid thought that he was going to go get a gun?
But
Yep.
did he? But did again? But
Yeah,
did
Chicago.
he? Did he shoot him? Did he get shot in the back after he ran outside? I know he got shot in the back of the restaurant.
He was shot in the back in the restaurant.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Because the
how?
gun came
And
out and he
he
turned around.
no,
But
he
I'm
got shot
saying-
he got shot in the back in the restaurant because he
Yeah.
was busy pummeling a woman.
No, I
That's-
got that part, and
It's
that's
not
why
like
I told
he turned
you.
around and cowered. I know,
No,
but you
no,
said
no.
shot in the back. He got shot in the back, so the son could get him off his mother.
Yeah,
he
I
wasn't
told you I agree.
fleeing.
I didn't have a problem with that. The part I
Okay.
have is him following outside and continuing to shoot.
But what I'm saying to you, No Saint, is that in this kid's mind, what if in his mind he thought this guy was going to go get a gun? What if he thought that he was going to go get his shit? Like,
No
when
saying
you're
the
in
shy
that-
is
I know there's a
different.
lot of what ifs,
This is
but
what
like
I'm
if we
saying.
applied the
This is what I'm
same thing to police officers, what if
This is
this
what
guy?
I'm
Let me go
saying.
shoot him as he's
No,
running.
no, you gotta think about where he
Here's what I'm
is.
saying.
We
Here's
gotta
what I'm
figure out
saying.
where he
Where he
is.
is.
Here's what I'm saying, No Saint. Without giving too much away, I've been in these similar situations, and things happen real fast. And you just the one thing that you're just keeping in mind is you just don't want to give the other side the upper hand because you just don't know how it's gonna, turn out for you. So within that particular situation, that kid probably said in his mind, I don't know what this guy's going for. I don't know what's gonna happen. I need to neutralize this threat so me and my mom are okay. That could have been happening in his head.
Where in Chicago did this happen?
I don't.
Chicago
It doesn't.
was good enough for
It
me.
wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm right. It
Chicago
wasn't in the
is
suburbs.
enough.
It wasn't in like.
But no saying. I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago. I got family in Chicago. I got family that lives in.
It was a South Side
Bridgeport.
restaurant. It was a
Okay.
restaurant on the South
South
Side.
Side. Okay, so
Oh,
I got
yeah.
family in Bridgeport, which is in South Side, and I'm telling you right now, it is like a third world country out there. Again, I agree. Like I said, I don't know if my first reaction would be like shoot the bull, but I'm telling you, I'm in North Philly, and I'm saying that's my reaction. In the Shy, like I said, I got family in Bridgeport. Bridgeport, it's savage.
It is. My
So-
friends that live there, they don't even go outside unless they have to.
You can't go outside.
You can't. They tell me
Whenever
you
I go to
can't
see
go
my
outside.
I don't go outside.
So here's what I disagree with anyone who's saying that send them to juvie, and here's why. Even for a month or day, an hour. This is why I disagree with it. First of all, here the new info is he is an honor student. Okay, recently graduated. Second thing is he's an actor. He was in a series and then in a film. That kid doesn't need to be behind anybody's bars along with motherfuckers who belong in there. That's not
Right.
the type of kid you send to juvie. That is not the type of kid you put in a cell.
I have new
he was-
information. So
Okay.
I
He was
I'll retract the statement.
That's fine.
I agree. When
He
David
was,
said it, I was like, okay.
yeah. He was protecting his mother. I agree with Haran. You don't know what I would have did the same thing. I don't know what you're running to get. I see people walk towards their trunk and I get froggy. Okay. And you're living in Chicago. Also, just judging from looking at the video, the kid walks in and he doesn't immediately start blasting. He's standing there. I do not think if the man wasn't wailing on his mother, he would have pulled out and shot him. He was standing there. If you watch the video, he's standing there with his hands in his hoodie. The man proceeded to beat on that woman viciously. This wasn't an Oscar slap. Viciously. I mean, he was throwing blows like he was trying to knock a man out. He literally said, I will knock you out. The woman did not have her hands up. She was not in a fighting stance. Watching the video, the boy is just standing there. I actually think that he is a fucking hero to be able to think that quickly. Most adults don't dare pull out a gun. Most adults, everybody talks big, but when the time comes to it, they're like, I don't know, it's your gun, bitch, put it out. I don't know, right?
I just said the same thing. You're right.
I think that kid is a fucking hero. He was smart enough to wait to see what was going to happen. He didn't come in blasting. The man got shot in the back because he was literally about to kill. He could have killed that woman the way he was throwing blows. He could have easily killed that woman in that restaurant. So after hearing all of that, seeing him during his graduation, the honors he graduated, I would not put that boy 1 fucking hour in a cell. I'm glad the charges were dropped, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. A lot of people are championing, they're celebrating this. Justice works. However, the white woman in Florida who shot the black woman through the door is also not getting charged. So we pick and choose when justice works. That woman was white. The black woman she shot was black. And that was Florida. Stand your ground.
That's what I was saying earlier about
unfortunately,
it's okay if you get away with it.
Okay, but unfortunately, and people are not going to like this, I see why the white woman was not charged. If you come to my door, okay, with the love and hip hop shit, I'm blasting too. I'm not fucking with you. Don't come to my door, especially if I live in a stand your ground state. That is the chance you take when you live in an open fucking carry state. You have to watch your actions. You're not in New York City. Okay, if you live in a stand your ground state, if you live in an open carry state, I'm in Nevada. Everybody out here is armed. People at Walmart with the Wild Bill Hickok on their hip, like it's nothing to do. Grandma has a fucking 45 on her hip out here. Watch your fucking actions. I always say, you know what you're going to do. You have these wonderful plans. You never know what the other person is going to do or what they are thinking. So I completely understand why the 14-year-old got off, and I completely understand why the white lady got off, whether we like it or not. I get it, but I would not put that boy in a cell for 1 fucking minute. Not that kid. Now, hella therapy. He's going to need therapy and lots of therapy, but I wouldn't put him in a cell.
That kid. No,
Again,
that kid. That's why the prosecution didn't go after him. He knew it was a loser of a case, so he was like, "I'm out."
Again, and I don't think anybody disagreed that he didn't do the right thing, and I don't think he would have gone to jail for what I think if and I don't know the laws in Illinois, so maybe
so
it's
why
not
waste the time and money? No thanks.
So no, but I'm just saying it. We have to, because this. I'm taking it. Listen. Honor student, all that, that's great. Ted Bundy was going to law school, okay?
Hold on. That's the most ridiculous shit I ever heard. You just compared this 14-year-old boy to Ted Bundy?
No, I'm not comparing him. I'm saying.
But you did.
No, what I'm saying is it's irrelevant that he's an honor student.
No, it's very relevant,
honor
actually.
students can do bad things too.
It's very relevant.
And maybe they can do it smarter. Maybe honor students do things smarter.
No, this is very relevant. But this was a self-defense case. This is not
I agree.
Some kid. Wait a minute, but this is not some kid that was an honor student and happened to do something bad on his day off. This was self-defense, and he happened to be an honor student. The comparison to Ted Bundy is asinine.
You could have left that out. You could have left that part out.
No, I'm just saying I don't think it had much to do with the case.
It had a lot to do with it.
Let me ask you a question.
That's why.
That's why they have That's why they have a thing called character witnesses, right? Because they put the whole character into consideration, right? And next to the crime, right? So if the person's character is like a repetitive, like this is a menace to society, and then this happened, then yes, they might have prosecuted. But this is not a menace to society. It's clear that this was a nice young boy that wasn't looking for trouble, and trouble came his way.
I agree with that. I agree with. I'm just saying you could have left it at that without bringing up the honor student stuff.
No, you have to bring wait a minute. When there is a white mass shooter, do they not bring up how his mental illness? Do they not bring that up? Don't they bring that up?
People do.
Don't they bring up? Okay, don't they bring up? Oh, his father left him when he was 2, and his mother spilled his juice when he was 5. Right? How can you say? How can you say that it's not relevant when it is a huge part of it? Now, opinion is not relevant, right? However, there's such a thing called character witnesses. The opening and closing arguments is all about how that human being lived their life.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally embedded into the opening argument and the closing argument. So how can you say someone could leave it out when that's exactly what the prosecution and the defense team use? How can you leave that out? This woman was prostituting her body for the past 45 years and has always been. Since when do they leave that out in court? Literally, they hope that you have a rap sheet in court.
I know, and that's the problem, because I'm looking at, like, if I sat there and said, let's talk, let's look at everybody's rap sheet on the panel. That doesn't mean that's
they do.
That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you're today. That's we're talking about 14-year-old, but we're talking about in general though. Like bringing up somebody's rap sheet.
It's in context with what is being discussed.
Right, and they brought up the rap sheet of the man who was killed as well. Right, so both of them.
I know, which is ridiculous, and this is what gets under my skin.
But
it gets under my skin.
Isn't the guy a repeat offender?
Because when we talk about certain people, like let's bring up when you talk about people that have been killed, like George Floyd. I understand that there was a lot of stuff going on there, but the way that it doesn't give someone an excuse to kneel on somebody's neck because he's got a rap sheet.
That's not why people are critical of George Floyd. Everyone who saw the George
but I'm saying
you bring
it's the same old thing. Let's look at look at the photo. Let's look at this person. When somebody gets killed unjustly, people are bringing up the rap like that is not, it's really not relevant to
okay, so let me
we're
off
the rails here because
we're not. I mean, we're off the rails. You veered into traffic. So let me ask you this, No Saint. Let me ask you this, since that's irrelevant. One of your sons, or if you had a daughter, because I don't like personalizing shit, but whatever. If you had a daughter, let's say you had a daughter, right? And she brings home a boyfriend. Now you hear in the neighborhood, this guy has been robbing people. He's been to prison 2 or 3 times. He's come tatted up, shaved head. He used to be part of the Aryan Nation, right? Now he pulls up to pick up your daughter. Are you going to be like, doesn't matter that he was into that stuff? Go ahead and see you later. Be home by midnight. You're not going to do that. You're going to judge, and you're going to judge with a fucking big gavel. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
No Saint. When you go to a job interview, you know what they ask for? As you know, they ask for your resume.
Yeah.
And your social media, and they go looking at your social media.
Yeah, they ask about everything. They look at your credit.
Have you ever been incarcerated?
When you get an apartment, have you been evicted?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
that
when
is
you're
no saying dating nowadays. So how many bodies do you have?
No, but like, go ahead.
But if you're an aggressor in a crime, it is, it goes with it to go look to see, is this a pattern? And yes, it was a pattern. Do you look at the young man? Is this a pattern? No, everything says the opposite for this man. Case closed. Next.
He's a hurt kid.
Any man
harm.
willing to pummel a woman like that, the way that man did that, that's not the first time he did that. He's used to doing that.
I understand.
He was triggered.
Listen, you
not
guys
by physical violence, but he was triggered by words.
I totally understand. And again, I'm on the side. I don't think the 14-year-old should be in jail for defending his mom and shooting the guy. That's not
Yes,
what
Moxie, I am a bit of a troublemaker.
Has everyone on the panel seen the video?
Yes.
Okay, I literally
saw that
just a few minutes ago watched it. I don't know if you saw my face. I hadn't seen it. Like I said, I got the tea from my wife. So first off, I retract my statement. David, when you said it and you were explaining yourself, I was like, oh damn, yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, I would, if I was a judge. Son, you need to go to therapy, and that's about it. Yeah, because like there's no like that. And you're right. The fact that he was comfortable, doing that. Yeah, that bull did it before. No,
that was brutal. I haven't seen men fight men like that in a long time in the street.
Very rarely seen
like
that
straight,
kind of thing
those
before.
are straight shots, man.
Yes.
I've seen that in fights, and I'm like, no, those are the haymakers. Those are killers. He's trying to take her out. Like
if that was a dude in front of him in line, I'm not gonna lie, we would probably all laugh about it and be like, "Oh, we got him! Oh my god!" And you guys already know I'm not one of those people who like, "Oh, protect black women." Blah, blah. Not saying we shouldn't, but you know what I mean. No, cause he wailed on her like she was a grown man. If that was my mom, and I'm not no fighting bull, I'm not no gun toting bull, I would have seen red. And me and my mom, we got a lot. We do not get along. Oh my goodness, I would have. Oh, bull would have been banished to the shadow realm. Oh, and he was.
That's well, right, he was.
The shadow realm.
He was.
That's an anime reference.
I know. I know a little bit. I know my blurs. Oh my goodness.
I mean, suing. So also the notion of suing the cops, and I am never one to come to the defense of the cops, and I'm not really doing that. I kind of try to look through that perspective of law enforcement. They are rounding up everyone and locking everyone down until they can find some facts. And so I think the police were policing there, and they locked up the wrong person. But I don't know what kind of success she's going to have in that suit for that very reason, right? The police are going to generally take your gun and hold you down and figure out what's what, and release you if they feel that they don't have a charge against you. So historically makes sense from what we see the police do all the time.
Right, because somebody was murdered. So I'm thinking like
do.
It's protocol to at least take them in and like, hey, what happened? We get you out of the story. Yeah, I mean, because I don't think like they're just coming into a crime scene. They're just coming into a crime scene.
I will also on the counterpoint, I think what might be on your mind, Spro, is what happened with Mr. Neely here in New York, and the white man that choked him out for 15 minutes, acting like he didn't know someone dies when you restrict their airway for over 4 minutes. You know what I mean? That motherfucker was let loose. Of course, he had cops in his family. He had NYPD in his family. And
I didn't know that about that, because that particular instance, like when I heard about that, I was like, oh, messed up. However, just from character witnesses, it was mainly the character witnesses and stuff that convinced me. I was like, again, which now in that case, I think some kind of charge. However, in my personal opinion, I don't think, hang the guy, his whole life should be, but no, sometime, because he did take a life. Which that was my stance, like in the beginning when I was like, oh, the kids should go to juvie. My whole thing is it's illegal to take a life. So just based off of that, hearing the details and stuff, it's a kid. He's an art kid. I sympathize with that. Yeah, no, because he's a kid. Therapy. Now with the Jordan Neely thing, because of it, which again, people's backgrounds and stuff need to be taken into consideration. When I heard about that, at first I didn't know. I was like, oh, here we go. White guy killed a black guy. Who's to freaking say?
I think he needs to be. I think he needs to be charged. He should be
go away forever for murder
and jail.
I don't think he should. I don't think. I'll say this.
Why are you taking it so light on him? Because I'm really curious.
I'm not saying go light on him. What I'm saying is I do not think that the guy intended to kill him.
Oh,
I'm just being honest. I don't think that was
choking
the
him
intent.
out for 15 minutes. Come on.
So
after Eric Garner and after George Floyd.
Also, Jordan Neely, and just listening to the witnesses, he was causing a ruckus. It does not just, it's the same thing with George Floyd. It was disgusting. When I saw the video, the George Floyd thing, I was like, yo, that's drawing. Because when I heard about it, I was like, oh, okay, we'll see. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's no getting around this. And to kind of backtrack a little bit from when No Saint brought up the George Floyd thing, there are two different situations because people are critical of that for different reasons. George Floyd has statues. I think that that's ridiculous. However, the fact that he was killed in the way that he was, that's drawing. Yeah. Hang the cop. That again,
Uh-oh.
He froze. So that was that
In
was
real life.
so I think I think if you're gonna hang the cop, then you got to hang the Marine or whatever fucking part of military he was. He was literally choking that man. First of all, it looks psychotic. Most people will choke somebody, and even if they're doing the let me put him out, real quick, because you could choke somebody and put them out.
Little
But
sleeper
the
hold.
way, right, the way he had a grasp on him for 15 minutes straight looked psychotic. I don't know if he was dealing with some PTSD or what, but going back to what Sproul said, if you ask the witnesses, he was causing a ruckus. That's New York City
New
on the
York.
subway.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
which I
He wasn't
also
armed.
That's New
He was a
York City.
skinny little guy
Yes.
who was unarmed and going off.
And he
Right.
was
Happens
not,
every fucking day.
and
Yeah,
he
that's
was
every day.
not, he didn't touch one person on
Right.
that subway.
Yeah.
guys,
And
I
this is
do
the
understand.
problem
Again,
that I have.
I'm not saying the Marines shouldn't be charged at
This
all.
is
I'm
every
saying they're
day on the
different
train,
scenarios.
bro. Like every day on the
I'm
train.
in Philly. I already know. Like, so when I heard it, I was like, oh, I already know how bulls on the subway be. And I didn't, again, listening to witnesses again. I'm not saying the Marine needs to do time. And get this, not even like, because like I feel like there are a few people who are, for lack of a better term, on the right who will be like, oh yeah, he should do some time, but not a whole bunch. I'm not even saying that. He should do some time. What I'm saying is I do not think Bull intended. I'm not saying he wasn't stupid. I don't think he meant to kill Jordan.
What
I
part
don't
of the
think he
15
meant,
minutes did he not figure that he was going to kill
I
somebody?
don't think I do not think that most people intend to kill. Now, him being a Marine, now was he
Yeah, I think
did
he
was
intended
he
to.
in duty? Like, because that, like,
Yeah.
certain things like that would be like, maybe there's mental health issues, which again would not get him off the hook. I'm
If
saying
he
they're
had
two
let
different
him,
situations.
here's the thing: if he had let him go, same with the cop that killed Floyd. If he had let him go, and if I was a juror, then we can discuss. He didn't mean to kill him. He was on him for like fucking a minute and a half, y'all. But 15 fucking minutes, you are psychotic. You need to be in a fucking cage.
I didn't know that
Okay?
I didn't know that there was a time on how long he had him held.
Yes.
To be quite honest,
Yes.
I did know it was
Yes.
15 minutes. That is drawing.
That's psychotic. Who holds anybody? People don't hug for 15 minutes.
I think Chad Bros who are in the Marines. And I'm not taking a shot at the bull. I'm just saying, but yeah, you're right.
Then,
Chad
and
Bros
you
in the
know what
Marines
that
would be
does.
hype and hold the bull for 15 minutes. I get this.
But
even
you
if-
know what it would do, right? If you're a trained Marine and you're trained to do that.
The man wasn't even violently fighting back. As a matter of fact, he had another man holding his arms. So why are you still choking him for 15 minutes? There's another guy holding his arms.
That is a very interesting point.
Skinny guy, homeless. You're not exactly wrestling the Rock here.
Unarmed.
That dude needs unarmed. That dude, because he was yelling at people
Right.
on a subway car.
Didn't pull
That
a
man-
box
He
He
cutter
was
out.
making threats, but you're right. If he wasn't
He was-
armed,
He get
he's a
threatened
small
every
guy.
day, bro.
Every
I get
day.
threatened
I'm
every
in
day.
North
Bro.
Philly. I know. I hear y'all.
He
I
needs
hear
he
y'all.
needs to be in a cage, and he needs to attempt to choke people in prison. That's what he needs to do. That's what I would like to see for the boy.
Again, not saying no prison time. Bull needs to do prison time.
Being threatened in New York is a love language, bro.
It is.
Seriously, you know how many
You know what's
times-
crazy? I prefer New
times
York
I've been
over
sitting on
Philly
the train.
because New York is so big that like when people get into fuck shit, they don't have time and they're like, okay, whatever.
Right.
In Philly,
Okay.
people have more time.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
more fuck shit happens.
Okay, so let's move on really quickly. No Saint, this question is for you. Kari says, what would be the charge? No Saint, and also I didn't know this information. This is an update. Christopher Higdon, a friend of On the Block with Jen, how are you, darling? Says that man had 6 priors, domestic violence. Shocking. He had 6 priors of domestic violence.
Not at all. Gasp.
Yeah. Gasp.
So I looked it up. Not sure if it applies to civilians or not, because it just happened. I think at one point in Chicago, police were allowed to shoot at people that were fleeing. And then that got overturned, I think, and they started saying you cannot pursue someone if they're like if the danger is leaving you, you're not allowed to continue to pursue and to kill. So whether that's put on to civilians, I don't
Or
know.
a 14-year-old who doesn't have his full
Listen, you got,
they're not even.
the only thing I'm going to say, and I'm just pushing that. I'm not even, I know it's because we're talking about the 14-year-old. I don't think he should go to jail. What I'm saying is, though, is this, because I've grown up hearing people talk about your castle, protecting your castle, and then you hear about people saying, "I'll just drag him into my yard if I shoot." It's just to me, a lot of people are, and so I'm not the 14-year-old. To me, I think he did the right thing protecting his mom, but I'm thinking of overall, like when she talks about the person in Florida shooting through the door and all these type of things. I'm just thinking like those laws are horrible, that you're able to do that when there's really no danger. And it's not necessarily danger.
Well, it goes back to what
This is
Lily
America.
said a million. Right. It goes back to what Lily said a million times. There's how you want it to be, and then how it is. If you live in an open carry state, watch your fucking mouth. You don't know how people are going to react in an open carry state. And going back to what Haran said, there are a lot of people that own guns that are fucking scary. They're scared of everything. They're scared of their own shadow. You have to have fucking common sense and understand that you live in an environment where people are that way. They are armed. And especially if you live in an open carry state, do not walk up and open the door. I want to know what you said to my son. Do not do that, because you may have a grand plan. You don't know how scared that bitch is on the other side of the door to be thinking, I'm going to ruin my fucking door and shoot through it. And hopefully stop the threat on the other side, because I don't want to fight a big old black woman. We don't know what the idea is in that person's head, and I'm just saying that that's what I'm sure the defense attorney is going to argue. I fucking guarantee it. This woman feared for her life. They're going to bring up the black woman's size, what she said, if there was a ring camera. There's a lot to it other than what we just think. Stop fucking with people. You always have a plan. You don't know what the other person is thinking.
Yeah, and this is the problem I have with a lot of these laws is people think they know the law, and a lot of times they don't know the law, and people, and that's why I think like we need, whether it'll happen or not, we need really clear-cut explanations when you go to get a gun on what you're able to do and what you're not supposed to do, because people think that it's an open carry. That means we remember the guy. Well, there's been several people prosecuted. Well, let's look at in Georgia, the 3 rednecks that got prosecuted, the Arbery case when the guy.
Yeah, but they chased him. They chased him down. That's different.
But their defense was, well, he grabbed the gun and da 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 and da da da. I was protecting myself, and they thought they were in the right. They're bragging about, well, he had to do it, son. You had to do it. He thought he was right, and that's what I'm talking about. But these laws that people think they could just, I have a gun and I'm going to make sure that, if someone's going to come over, I'm going to start going out there and patrolling the neighborhood and thinking I can get away with killing somebody, and we can go on and on.
If someone on the other end of that gun expresses any interest in not being shot, I better shoot him.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing I tell people all the time. There's the law and then there's the story.
There you go.
And this situation with the kid, the story is he was protecting his mom from this big black dude who was almost ready to kill her. Law be damned. No jury's coming for that kid.
Christopher Higdon says a proper chokehold will cause the person to fall asleep in 4 seconds. There's no way a Marine doesn't know that holding the choke for 15 minutes would not have killed the young man.
I already admitted I was wrong. All right. Give it a rest. Can we give a round of applause for Chicago, because like their mayor is like a heroin addict, and like the fact that they actually for once justice was served.
I didn't know that.
Well, I grew up with a crackhead mayor, and he was the best mayor in Washington D.C. history. So, just saying.
That's right.
It's Marion. True. Yeah, Marion. Let me tell you, there's never been another mayor like him ever. That's why when he got out, like soon as he got out, they put him right back in office, because it was unanimous. Like everyone knows that crackhead got shit done. We didn't care what he did.
Hey, that's in DC. The crackheads in DC are clearly different from the ones in Chicago, but that's Chicago, they got one right. So there we go. Yeah. Justice was served.
Again, I say, arm yourselves, ladies, because you don't know when you're gonna have to stop a clock. These dudes are out here acting the monkey ass fool. You put them down. Put them
Jen,
down.
let's not
They're
discriminate against
saying
I
genders.
have
Let's
not seen
they're
a
everyone arm
saying
single
themselves.
claim online that
no.
states that he
I'm
was
just I'm discriminating against genders because a lot of these guys are froggy and they're froggy with women, right? So and women have to do what they have to do. So in this part, if you're not, if you're not a guy that wouldn't put your hands on a woman, you shouldn't care what I just said. If you are, then be careful because a lot of us are armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous.
Just
Can
for the
bang with
record,
us.
Fred, for the comment, the video of the chokehold was for 4 minutes, but witnesses said it was for 15 minutes, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you research it.
Yes.
Now, what do you think about what do you think about fast forwarding before we close? What do you think about, now she's suing and she got a GoFundMe running and they're saying that she needs to get her kid up out of Chicago because there will be threats of retaliation, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. Because one thing about these fucking animals, there's always more animals behind them trying to justify them beating on people.
I call bullshit on all of that. I think now with that, I'm going to be honest. Again, everything else that we discussed as far as the situation, everyone was justified. We already agreed. The young man needs therapy, blah, blah, blah. He defended his mom. Guy shouldn't put his hands on a woman. There we go. That sounds like which honestly starts to make me think like, yo, was she on some hood shit? Like, oh, yo, come out here because this nigga is blah, 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 blah. Now, he did put his hands on her. So again, the situation itself, we won't leave it alone, regardless of the energy. That sounds like some fuck shit. Her trying to it sounds like she's trying to capitalize on it and use the clout. Like, get this, you were justified in the situation, and it sounds like she's trying to capitalize on it. That to me is dishonorable. It seems distasteful. Why are you again? I literally just said, let's give a round of applause for Chicago. They got something right. You're suing them, you idiot. You moron, you got to go fund me. And you know what's crazy? People are going to give her money. She's going to get her little 15 minutes. That I think is distasteful. That I think is disgusting. You need to go into hiding, get your son some therapy, and lay low. You look now. That looks nasty. That's gross.
Whether I agree whether or not people are going to give to her, regardless.
Yeah.
So if they want to give to her, and she could be scamming to the cows come home, but that don't stop people from giving to a scammer if that's what she's doing. I don't think she's scamming. I just think she's trying to capitalize off of a moment. But it is what it is. I don't never have a problem with stuff like that. If you choose to give to her, then go ahead and give to her.
Well, no, that's what I mean. I don't. So maybe scam wasn't the right word, but like, yeah, she's trying to capitalize on it, and to me, I just think that's dishonorable. And for those who want to give, again, it doesn't say anything about them, but I think just her doing it and being about that and be like, I'm gonna sue the Chicago PD. That it's dishonorable because you get this because any other time the narrative is Black woman's down. They arrested this young honor roll student, this art kid. They arrested him for defending his mama, blah, 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 blah. You won. And get this, not only did you win, not because of BS, not because like, oh, they're Black, we don't want to get called away. You were justified. And now you're that's what I mean. Dishonorable. Yeah, if y'all want to give your money to her, can't be mad at the people who want to do that. That's their free will. And even with her, again, not a scam,
And Nikki,
but it's capitalizing. It's nasty.
Nicki Minaj already offered to pay for the boy's college should he want to go. Also, Derek Chauvin, the cop who was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, has a very, very generous. It's not via GoFundMe, but he has a money raising fund thing because he wants to appeal the decision. And people are throwing. I took a peek at it. People are throwing hundreds of dollars in that weekly to this day.
They're trolling. Those are trolls.
Also, well, they're trolling with their money.
Yeah, they're trolling with their money. It's still they're
yeah, the same thing. The same thing with the Marine who killed the gentleman on the train. He also has a great GoFundMe. So these people,
hear about that. Millions.
So if they're getting money, let the lady get her money.
Right.
No, they're all dishonorable. No. Again,
okay.
but regardless, if you think she's dishonorable, don't give your money and let whoever wants to give their money for whatever reason they're giving it.
Nothing against the people giving the money. I will continue. She is open to criticism. Every human being, this goes back to Tyler Perry. Everyone's open to criticism.
You're allowed your opinion. You're allowed your opinion.
It's dishonorable. And I think it's maybe not just distasteful. I don't think it's in good taste.
I agree with that. I think that she should count her lucky stars. take that Nicki Minaj money for that boy's college
Get
tuition.
your bag, but
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't, because people are going to automatically, hearing who that child is, people are going to reach out and shoot some chips at her. I don't think the GoFundMe was necessary. I don't. But, you know.
Better point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Y'all good. Get this. Not only are you justified, the black card. I don't know what people, when Ice Cube, that stuff earlier, talking about like, oh, gatekeepers, this is the best time to be alive. Yo, literally before COVID happened, right? I spent like 4 years trying to produce a pilot, right? Spent a bunch of my money. I was literally shooting whenever I could, right?
Mm-hmm.
It got to a point, and the only thing that stopped me was COVID, because I actually started to get some bites. I started playing the black card. I was like, oh, I'm a black man, and I have this pilot with a black lead, and the villain is a black female. And yeah, and what's crazy is I was doing it to troll. I got some bites, but COVID happened. So like, yo, capitalize on it.
Use your privilege.
You know who the most disadvantaged person in America is nowadays? Straight white males. I've never been so proud to put I'm black on a job application ever in my life. No. I'm talking social currency. We're seeing
not gonna do that, man.
Oh, Ron, come on. If I say I'm black, come on, I can get away with whatever.
That's a show.
And
that is a show.
Who's for the white man?
What topic?
The most disadvantaged man right now is a straight white man. That's a topic. That's a debate.
I say that
when people say that, but I've heard it said before. Seriously, you know, I don't get what people are saying. Like, I'm like, the government is still disproportionately white. Every industry on the planet is still disproportionately white. So I don't know what people. When people say that, I get confused.
Again, I'm joking, but even when I say that, I mean like culturally. Like certain things we're seeing, again, it's not overall, it's not across the board, and I'm not saying 100% complete. Like a piece of me is kind of fucking around.
Wow. But I'm telling you, I've heard it.
I think that nowadays, though, being a minority isn't as bad as it used to be. I think that in some cases I can get away with a little more. In some areas, not every single area.
But I fail to realize at what point was it disadvantage to be a straight white man?
I'll say it again. If a white guy can't take a little bit of criticism in this society, then a
black man can't. You ever watch any black man?
Yeah, but I'm talking about an advantage with all the advantages that white people have in this country. And
no one got an advantage over me. I'm not white.
Okay. So, and just wait, because I'm sure you agree for the Supreme Court to overrule this affirmative action thing if they do so.
I think affirmative action is toxic,
and we'll see. We've already seen that when those are implemented, minorities in colleges start to decrease.
Okay, why aren't Asians with high test scores allowed into Ivy League colleges? Why are they pushed aside? Again, you lose me with that. I think affirmative action is fucking toxic, well-meaning, but it's stupid. So yeah, overturn it. Diversity hires are ridiculous. It's more insulting. I don't want anything based off of my fucking skin color. Excuse my language. Oh. I want to be the best of whatever it is I'm doing. I don't want to be the best black. I don't want to get it because I'm black. I don't want to get it because of my sexuality. I want to get it because I'm that bull.
But see, then, I mean, and I agree with you. I don't
need no leg up.
I agree with you, Spro. At the same time, we do live in America, and sometimes those things are put in place because people were not giving. So you're a little bit younger than us. So those things were put in place because people were not given the job just because we were black. So they had to put those things in place just for us to be able to have the opportunity to be in certain companies. Mm-hmm. So to get rid of it altogether will be kind of dangerous.
No, I think the time has passed. I think that it is stupid to hire someone purely based off of we people, you get things based off of what you can provide to someone. Period. I don't care about this.
Yeah, but you got to have the opportunity. You have to have the opportunity to be able to do that.
Are men, and most of the CEOs.
You have to have the opportunity to do that.
You have to have the opportunity.
And let me say something, Spro. You sound like the same guys that say we don't need unions anymore.
The richest black people in the world are in this country. There's no opportunity. I need a leg up. I need a boost from massa.
And
No.
and you don't know. You're saying that, and you have no idea if those people benefited from affirmative action or not. You're
Get
just
this.
assuming they
let's put
didn't.
this may be kind of like low hanging fruit, but like I said, I cover and follow a lot of the entertainment industry, and I don't know if you know what's going on in Hollywood, but they are fucking dying because of this diversity hire shit and the writer's strike. The last writer's strike in 2008, even though like I was a young bull, I was with the writers. I am so glad this happened because it's purging all this diversity hire bullshit. Get them out. People who are good at the job. I don't care I don't care if they all happen to be black. I don't care if they all happen to be white. What job do I need done and who's the best for it? Get them in doing the job. I don't want anything based off of an immutable characteristic. It is fucking insulting. I am so much more than my pigment. I am so much more than who I choose to fuck. I am so much more than what gender I identify as. Those are things that mean nothing. Nothing. They're a part of me. Yes, they make up me, but that does not define who I am and what I'm qualified to do. So yeah, get rid of affirmative action. I don't want any handouts.
Very spirited,
Right.
very spirited answer. But there's such a thing as human nature, and society is not a meritocracy. It never has been.
I'm not saying it is. Get this. What I'm saying is, even if I don't get it, I'm not playing along with it.
Now,
I'm not going to act like
it's
a
thing. Should be a affirmative action. But politics is real, nepotism is real, all of these things are real. People look for angles. People do what they do because people are people. And no matter how you slice it, even if everyone was white, even if everyone was yellow in the room, not every time the most capable person is picked. Sometimes the person who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody is the one who's picked, because it's
that is definitely true, especially in Hollywood.
So I get both points, and honestly, I agree with both points. Spro is the attitude that we need, right? Because the other half is still waiting for the reparations, right? While their children starve and there's no generational wealth being planned. So I'm with, if I had to pick one, definitely going with what Spro said. Yeah, shit is unfair. However, no one's stopping you from doing shit. We hear a lot about redlining and gatekeepers and whatever. The truth is, Tyler Perry fucking shut all that shit down, whether you like his wigs or not. He proved that fuck the gatekeepers, okay? So, and he came after Ice Cube. Ice Cube was well established in the business. So with that said, I agree. I get it. Yes, Lily, there was a time where we needed all of that. Absolutely. But then it just, again, the pendulum swung and now people are taking advantage of because I'm black. No, it's because you're stupid and you have no self-determinism. That's why, right?
That's a good way to word it. I think we actually might all agree.
But no, we do agree on that. Yes, we definitely do agree on all of them because the pendulum has swung. And that's what happens. It starts on this end, and then it hits a middle where it's actually like, okay, this is cool, we can live with it. And then somewhere along the line, it just you're like, what the fuck happened? How did we get all the way over here? So yeah, we're all the way over here now. So I get what you're saying.
We lose our way in trying to correct.
I don't know. Right. I don't agree with this. Byron Allen's using affirmative action to get a TV. So Byron Allen got bank. I don't believe he's using affirmative action to. So I'm going to read this statement before we go. Nicki Minaj says that 14-year-old boy that backed that hammer out when that grown-ass man, I don't think it was a revolver, but I digress. That grown-ass man was punching his mother in the face as if she were a man, is a true hero. If he wants to go to college, I'd love to help. It's what any son should have done for their mother. She raised a dope kid and should be so proud. Also, God knew before she knew that she'd be attacked that day and made sure they had protection on deck. God is good. Now, I just wish somebody had backed that hammer up when her husband was sexually assaulting a woman, but I digress. That's another show. All right, guys. So closing arguments or we're the fuck out of here.
I'm good.
Christopher Higdon says he's not using affirmative action. He's using existing case law.
I have one last statement.
Absolutely. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
I hate to backtrack, but earlier, the Tyler Perry thing. Personally, I could give a shit if Tyler Perry wears a dress. Personally, it's acting. I do not care. There have been, I'm not gonna lie. I was a theater kid, and I used to pray for like the role to play like a woman. I used to like steal my cast members' dresses and run around like, I would have loved to because I was an actor. So it's like, yo, like what better way? I want to get like immerse myself like I can dig it. Right. That's not my problem. No one, and I did nothing but praise Tyler Perry. He is from what I can see and what he has said, he is a decent man, a good man who puts his money where his mouth is. And you're right. He is literally proof. Niggas, stop complaining. Tyler Perry makes shit and he is successful. Why? Because he funds and pushes his own stuff. You want to do something good? Push it. And get this. The church aunties love Tyler Perry stuff. Yeah, they obviously have no artistic taste. They don't know anything about cinema, but there is an audience for it. If you make something and there is an audience for it and you are consistent and you invest in it, you will see results. Period.
Right. So stop hating.
Tyler Perry being a good man and being decent does not exclude him from artistic criticism. Cinema is my love, my passion. If I wasn't married to my wife, I would have married cinema. You feel me? I will criticize art. I will criticize it.
I get, listen, since we went back there, since we went back there, then we have to cap it with what Lily said. Fuck your theater, your whatever. You have to understand the value that Tyler Perry has to all of us other artists. Okay, he normalizes seeing a person of color do it and do it big. Hire other people of color, right? Whether you like it or not. So I get the critique. We all do that. We're sensitive about our shit. I'm a writer as well, but we have to be careful because the gatekeepers are listening and watching, and if they're looking at us like they don't even like that shit, why the fuck should we care? It has an impact. That's all I'm saying. You can hate him. You don't have to hate him publicly over and over and over again and complain about his dress, because there's a lot worse things going on in hip hop, and you motherfuckers are mum's the word on it. Mum's the word. Okay.
I don't listen to the hippity hops.
And okay, so look, this is all I heard. This is what I heard when Spro was saying that he wanted to steal the dresses and be in a dress. This is all I heard.
Yes, Queen Slay.
They're speaking our language, Lily.
I know. I'm like, it's fluent.
You are appropriating. Please stop.
I feel like I'm home.
Wait, Jen, I swear, this time, last thing. I saw a post.
Bro, you love the sound of your own voice, don't you?
I know, a little bit. I don't know if it was on Instagram or if it was on your community tab. You were in a Tubi movie?
I don't think it's it's not
binging like independent cinema on Tubi for like weeks now. My wife is like,
is it on Tubi or Amazon? It's on Amazon. Which one are you talking about?
You posted, you said you gave a few streaming services, but one of them was Tubi, and I was like, oh my god, it was a sequel to some movie, and I was like, I gotta watch both of them.
The Bag Girls 2. I played the Colombian drug lords.
What a stretch.
You know, I'm gonna give you the hey, you didn't write it, right?
No, sir.
Great, awesome.
I didn't write it. I'll say this:
Tubi movies, I love them.
Oh, then you're gonna love that one, and especially if you're a heterosexual male and you're into tits and ass. Oh, I mean, every frame.
That's not why I watch Tubi movies.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So by all means, watch it. Come back with the critique. I'll love to hear it. I did not write it. I did not direct it. And to be quite honest, I was grateful that he literally picked me and hit me up and said, this is you, this is the role. I was not appreciative of not being allowed to really do what I wanted with the character, because they were rushing every scene and it was more about, let's get this movie made and then jump in the pool after. I didn't like that. And I think that's something that Black and Latin people do a lot when they think they're filmmakers. They get funding and money, and it's like, hey, let's get together with the boys and shoot a film. And I'm like, I'm an actor. So after a while, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to give them what they want. Some tits, ass, some abs, some bad curse, some bad words. I'll give you what you want. I'll kill people, whatever. Let's get it done. So watch it and critique it. I'd love to hear it. All right, guys. So we are out of here. Come back tomorrow. There are actually 2 stories we didn't even get to. We covered so much tonight. Tonight was chock full. But I got some stuff for tomorrow along with the main topics. We are going to talk about our podcasters proving the Black community is matriarchal. I have a clip for that. And also, should prison inmates have the internet? I have a very interesting clip on that. So come back tomorrow. We didn't get to them tonight. Block, fall back. So we can debrief right quick. Thank you so much for holding me down, chat. Thank you so much for the super chats. Be here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that like and subscribe on the way out. We love you all. Good night. Bye, Spro. Spro is crazy.
Yes. He